Yo, alright. Alright. Okay. Yo. Yo. By the way, if the stream crashes in the middle, my computer's been a little weird today and like will just randomly crash. I think it should be fine now, but if that happens, I'm putting this at the start of the VOD so that everybody knows. All right, cool. Nice. 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 Just open this. Yo, what's up everybody? Welcome, welcome. Oh dang, what the heck?
People say that the essence shall reveal itself.
Discord stream notification? Yes. It was requested last time, so I listened to requests. Hold on, this like dock is not working. Let me see. If I chat. What's up, Maxim? Hey, what's going on with my dude? What's going on with my chat widget? What the hell? The helly? Hold on. What's up, RTK? Dude, what? Oh wait. I think this has happened before. Hold on, easy fix. Check this out. Six minutes late? I'm not 6 minutes late. I'm not 6 minutes late. Okay. It's okay. I have a backup protocol for moments like this. Alright, good. Good. There we go. Fixed. Saved. The day is saved. Stream saved. Caught the beginning? Yeah. This is the beginning. And never mind, I was about to say something. I was about to say something cringe. Okay. Why is the setting like this? Oh, that works. Nice. Okay. Yo, what's up, Sandwich? What's up, a Sandwich? What's up, bro? Good to see you again. Welcome. Welcome, welcome. Alright, guys, I'm gonna check on my factory really quick, because I did a ton of factory stuff. What's up, Cypher? I did a ton of factory stuff off stream. I think the factory is getting to a point where, like, I don't know if I could do this stuff on stream. It's just like so complicated and I have to sit there and just like silently ruminate and think for like a few minutes before I do stuff. Like, I don't know if you can do any of this stuff on stream, but I'm very proud. So I nuked my entire factory, like to dust, like everything blank. I didn't save anything. Well, I guess technically I saved some of these like water pumps and stuff, but like other than that, it was all blank. And then I went and redid everything. Now I've got like Hedonite parts being made and stuff, so that's pretty cool. It's still so slow though. I think gas is supposed to optimize this. 9,000 isn't bad. What I might do is turn back on my gear components so that I can just start stockpiling these for oh, but it'll probably, oh, that's weird though, because it'll probably consume my components at a faster rate than I'm making them, and I'd run out eventually, so I need to craft my stuff first. What's up, Zal? No way, an Enfield enjoyer space? Yeah, like an actual Enfield enjoyer space. You know, that's not to say that it's not like an Enfield criticism space either. It's just like, not like insane. It's just not like full of insanity and just random stupid stuff. At least I hope. Self-aware moment? I don't know. Why is there a chat in screen and stuff in people when I can literally only see a void in your chat? That's the YouTube chat, brother. That's the YouTube chat. Twitch is kind of a dead platform, so... Twitch is kind of a dead platform for, new streamers. So... You know. I mean, I appreciate everybody that, like, is on the Twitch side, you know? Like, you're still, like... That's why I made the combined chat and everything, so everyone's, like, kind of, like, part of the same ecosystem, you know what I mean? But... Smug does factory on stream, but it takes hours. He streams daily though, so he has time. Okay, that's probably why, actually. That's probably why. It did take me, like, many hours to do all of this. I'm pretty proud of what I came up with, though. Let me make these turrets that I wanted to make. I just want to make a bunch of these now that I have the parts. And I just won't have to worry about it ever again for the rest of my life. And then... I don't need 50 of these. I only need more of those mortars because you, like, use them in the overworld. I don't think you use these anywhere, really. 15's fine. And some of these. I use these in the overworld, too. Whatever, 50. Alright. And now I want these parts to be back on so I can, like, whenever, or these gear components, whenever, what's it called? Contingency contract starts kicking our ass, we can, crutch on some artificing. You can put a limiter on how many you want it to craft? Oh, really? That's okay, I'll just feed it. I'll just feed it whatever, it'll be fine. I just wanted enough parts to craft my turrets. Do you really need parts for anything else? Like, major? Are there any, like, big things you need Hedonite parts for? These are Cuprian parts. I don't think so, right? The rigs? No, these are Cuprium. Yeah. Do you have enough Cuprium for all those crucibles? Yeah, this is all of my... This is all of the available Cuprium is going towards making these Hedonite parts. Like, this is the best way I could figure out how to do it. And even then, I don't think I'm making the parts at maximum efficiency. So I have one on this side and one on this side. And I guess, like, technically I could feed, like... Like, I could modularize it and just have, like, Hedonite part... Or, like, these things coming out into a fitting unit. It's like one fitting unit. I could probably do that instead, but I didn't, so... I think it's effectively the same rate of creation, isn't it? Maybe it's not, actually. Maybe it's not. Should I do that? Because, like, technically... Like, I have 9 in the... Oh no, that's just, like, in my inventory. There are some bots that can ferry messages between. I've seen stuff like that. I feel like it's kind of... It's a lot of, like, chat pollution. I haven't thought about messing with that yet. Are you gonna react to Mifu story video and spend 1 hour on it? I mean, we're gonna play the Mifu story, and then we're probably gonna, like, analyze it and talk about it and stuff. Probably take longer than 1 hour, TBH. If there's someone with, like, a terrible analysis of it, we might... Well, it's not fair to say off the bat it's going to be terrible. If there's someone with an analysis of it, we might check out their analysis and then, you know. Like, dude, I've already... I was debating on whether I should mention this, but like I was in like I was like in the Kuki Kaze stream earlier. Maybe even he's still streaming, but like he's doing his like 1.1, 1.2 review. He's like filming it live. And I was in there and I was just like, you know, there's some stuff where I'm just not in agreement even remotely, but you know. Yeah, the item control port, yeah. Good to hear you enjoyed it. Nothing wrong with doing some off stream. Can't be losing more of those sanity boosters. Dude, I'm gonna spend the sanity boosters on stream, but it's like this factory stuff. This factory stuff just takes so much brain power. And like, dude, after, this is the thing, it kind of like, it's been a while since I'd really worked on the factory, and it really made me remember why I loved like Enfield during the beta so much. Cause like, after I would finish it, I would like log in the next day and I would just, like what I'm doing right now, I would just go into overview, like overhead mode, and I would just like look at my factory. I would just kind of look at it and just kind of listen to it work and just be like, yeah, that's me. Like that was me. I did that. Heat parts sell for a lot. Once I have enough gear components, I'm gonna start selling the parts. But yeah. But yeah, I want to just have like a stockpile of these. Have you started stocking up on batteries? I do have about 8 batteries per minute going towards being sold. So I have a full production line and then half of another, and like half of that production line goes to power. So right now batteries are my main source of income. Is there another reason to stock up on batteries? Probably shouldn't have sold them all, but oh well. Yeah, there isn't enough to make max of the Heat parts. Yeah. Thing is that Heat parts, they sell for like a little more than half, or yeah, a little more than double of the syringes. So technically, if you can make Heat parts at 6 per minute, it's like more worth than doing the syringes, something like that, right? Technically, like I think technically I'm making Heat, it says it's 6 per minute I'm making. I don't know if it's exactly 6, but I think it might be close. Another 6-hour Kuki reaction. Probably not. I don't know if we'll do another 6-hour Kuka reaction. Maybe, honestly, no promises. Because, like, I think that 1.1, 1.2 review is going to be, like, if based on what I was watching in the live stream, I feel like it's going to be full of just stuff that is just not great, like, at all. Especially the story takes are going to be, like, not good. And I'm kind of... like I was in the stream and I was like hearing him talk about like character deaths and stuff like that, and he's just talking about how like, you know, I don't care about any of the characters, so I don't care if they die, and it's like I just need to make my own videos, honestly, like kind of just like putting the ideas out there and kind of educating on actual, you know, analysis of this stuff. Because character deaths and stories are not, this is like the part of like modern brain rot that's kind of like been caused by a lot of modern stories, like where authors use death as like a cheap emotional crutch, and it's basically just like make someone really like this character and then kill them, and then everyone's gonna be sad. And that's like, that is something that happens, and that is like sometimes the intent, because a lot of people don't like think about it more deeply than that, and like sometimes you don't need to, because if it achieves like an emotional reaction, then it's kind of like that's the point, I guess. But like certain things where like to say, like it's kind of just weird to just say I didn't care about this character, so when they died I didn't feel anything, and it's bad writing. Like a lot of times there's more depth to like a character's death or sacrifice than just like whether you liked them or not, you know. Hughie's takes about the revenue drama was pretty good. Yeah, I did see that part. That was I mean, that was pretty, yeah, standard though. But yeah. Watching your own creation work is very satisfying, yeah. Can you imagine what ungodly formula will be used to make Wuling HC batteries? I don't even want to think about it. Honestly, don't even want to think about it. It's going to be like an entire like an entire outpost is going to be dedicated to making them. Popped into his stream, saw him looking at gacha revenue, couldn't understand why OG Arknights has more than Endfield. I think he doesn't know the website only tracks mobile. I think I was actually, because I was listening at like 1.5 to like the past stuff to like catch up. He was like misunderstood that for a little bit, and then later on he figured it out and then corrected that. So he did get it eventually. But yeah, the thing about the mobile thing is like the whole point about how, like, you know, Arknights made more money and like these other things are making more, like putting way too much stock in like these fake numbers, you know, and like way too much stock into the fake numbers of these revenue. Like for general trend purposes, I kind of get it, and like it was really to be expected that Endfield was gonna have less revenue in the month of May because it's like beyond obvious. They had no new banners. Fong Yi had already been running for two weeks at that point, and there's like no new characters. So like, who's dropping money? You know what I mean? It's kind of just obvious, but which is like what he said. But you know, yeah. Revenue takes were good, I'd say. He was realistic, didn't give in to doom posting. Yeah. I mean, we don't doom post the revenue, but we doom post the live stream YouTube viewership. That's what we doom post. Wait, the Wuling, I'm gonna go look at the, that's a good shout out about the Wuling vantage point. I'm gonna go stand over there for a minute. That factory is like the Wuling factory is like really packed. I have like a few empty spaces, but like for the most part, it's like really packed. I remember my friend got a bit bored of an anime he likes. He said he wants somebody to die, and somebody did die, and he was like, no. Dude, that's kind of what I'm just gonna, being honest, it kind of like triggered me because I was listening to his take and he was like, you know, Enfield, they like don't kill anybody, and that's how real stories go. Like with Arknights, like they have to kill people. Like I want to tell the Enfield devs that they need to just kill some people. Like they need to kill Ardashir or something. And I kind of was just sitting there like, that's what really, look how beautiful it looks. It's what kind of triggered me, is because I was like, you know, like I need to just make a video about it so I can like write out in full. I'm getting a small F. Wait, hold on. Small stream F. I need to just write a video about it so I can write like my thoughts in depth. But this like relationship with death in storytelling is just like so surface level, you know? Like I liked this character, or they had a good backstory, so when they died I felt sad. Like he even said for Ace in the chapter 1 of Arknights, how like, you know, you don't feel anything for Ace when he dies, so like, you know, you don't care, right? Because like you didn't know his backstory, so you didn't care when he died. And it's just like, to me that's the perfect example, because like I felt something when Ace died when I was reading chapter 1 and I had no knowledge of anything else, right? So, hold on, I have to break the legs of this bot.
Constant vigilance in every place and situation. This is a rule that I never break.
Saint loves his EOS field. Okay, I mean that's, wait, who is that again? Who? Yeah, I'm a spender and I would have spent, but there was no battle pass available to buy and they gave me a monthly free pass. I mean, I had the monthly free pass going at the same time as that free one. You're just making bank actually, but love Josh Strife Hayes video on Twitch streaming, touches on how niche it really is and how it isn't a good gauge on overall audience. Feel of good and bad. Yeah, that's a good point. Are you proud of your creation? Yeah, I am, actually. Actually am. There's like some symmetry here with the this is like the Originium, I think, that I'm making, the Originium cubes. Some symmetry here. There's some like this section right here is all sandleaf powder. It's just literally all sandleaf powder production. And then I filled in the rest with like other stuff. I think there's a couple of sheernite I modularized it. So like some sheernite is being produced in the middle here. And then there's like random stuff being made. Nobody died in Meditations by Aurelius, dogshit book. So here's the thing about character death, right? Here's the reason why Ace's death affected me, even though I didn't know his backstory. So, like death, how do I put this? Death is very spiritual in a sense. It speaks to something that's like very deep in human consciousness. And, you know, so religious folks would say that, you know, only God is capable of producing life, right? I'm going to get into the non-religious folks as well. But so like religious folks would say that only God is capable of producing life. Thus you bow your head before death because life and death are beyond the realm of like mortal understanding, you know, something like that, right? And there's like this seriousness, to life and death. And that's why like taking a life is considered so evil, because you are, as a human, you are placing yourself in the realm of God, like to play God with somebody else's life, to take their life, you know what I'm saying? And that's why there's a heaviness to life and death. And non-religious folks would say that, you know, think about all of the science that we know about how we came to be, like how we evolved from these like amoebas that lived in this, you know, bionutrient sludge, evolving over the millennia into these human beings with these brain structure and this higher realm of consciousness that exists above, you know, like base animal instinct and stuff like that. Like the likelihood of that happening is like so infinitesimal. And then the likelihood that you were born to have this consciousness is so infinitesimal that, you know, that is why there's a sacredness to life. And that's also why you bow your head before death, because, you know, life is just so precious, because the likelihood of you having this life is so infinitesimally rare, right? So, you know, when you have this kind of like understanding of life and death, so like when Ace dies, there's power to the fact that like you see a person who is willing, not even just that he dies, but is willing to give his life for his friends, for his comrades, for a cause, you know, like the power of like believing in a cause so much that you were willing to die, or your bonds with your comrades are so strong that you are willing to die, you know? And like that's like when Ace dies, even though I don't know anything about his backstory, I don't know anything about his I haven't like seen the history and the actual events of how he came to be friends with these like operators or whatever, and like how they came to be comrades. It still like means something. And like you don't even need to have all of that, like, you know, academic description of the value of life and death. You don't even need to have that, because like children understand this thing like on a fundamental level. They like instinctively understand this. That's why stories like Avatar: The Last Airbender will have like character deaths, and they mean something, and like kids can be impacted by this, right? So, and like children understand this. So just to boil down like whether like a character's death or like their willingness to die or something, just to boil that down to like, I don't care about these characters, so like I don't care if they died. You know, like, to me, it's just like juvenile. It's just a juvenile read on storytelling, and I just like don't fuck with that point of view like at all. So holy philosophical words. Yo, what's up, Soup? From a Christian standpoint, there's a reason why Jesus' death is so specific and detailed compared to his birth. Yeah, there's meaning in that, for sure. I didn't even realize Volps was talking about Arknight's Ace with all these big words. I mean, because this thing is the same goes for Arcane. Because this is also why he's saying, like, you know, Kuki was saying, I don't care about Arcane, I don't care about Fong Yi. So, like, when they are about to, like, sacrifice themselves, I don't care, you know? I don't feel anything. And, like, you know, I just don't fuck with that. I just don't fuck with that at all. I did an analysis of, like, Arcane and why the whole situation with I did that in my last video. So, you know, if people like care to watch it and digest it, maybe they would understand it a little better. But I did like an analysis of like why that whole chain of events like means something even more than just like, I'm sad this character might die. It's like, and it's like a whole representation of this like greater ideology. And, you know, this ideology is like so pure, and it means so much that, you know, the stakes are like whether this ideology will be broken or whether it will be followed, right? So like that's where like the emotional stakes to me kind of are. But I see what you mean, but not gonna lie, I didn't really feel Ace's death. Why didn't you feel it? I'm curious. Like I actually, right? Like actually, because the thing is, I kind of understand this I understand like kind of where that point of view is coming from, but this is the first stream I've seen from you, but you're low-key the most slept on content creator. Like your vids. Thank you, bro. Thank you. Yo, pound that for me. Thank you very much. That's nice of you. Thank you. Death and achieving heaven ascension is the entire idea of Abrahamic religions. I mean, the idea of like nirvana is also in, you know, like Buddhist, Hindu philosophy as well. And you know, like death and the fear of death is very powerful, right? So like I took a class on Vikings in college, and so like with Vikings and like, you know, the Scandinavians and stuff, there was this whole big kind of like effort from the Christians to like convert them to Christianity, because like, you know, Christianity is like a very missionary religion, and they want to like save the souls of other people, you know, by like converting them and stuff. So there's this big push to like convert them, and also if they convert them, it would maybe stop them from like raiding and pillaging and attacking them, because like Christians wouldn't attack other Christians, you know, morally. So so like, but like, so what really the biggest, like the most success they had with converting the Vikings was deathbed conversions. So like basically, because like in Viking religion or Viking, you know, basically their religion, because you would call it mythology, but like it was their religion, right? It was their beliefs. But like in their religion, the idea of like the afterlife was really Valhalla, and you got to Valhalla by being in battle. So somebody who was like dying of disease, or an old person dying of natural causes on their deathbed, knows like they're not going to Valhalla because they're not dying in battle with weapon in hand. And so like they want to go to like heaven, to like paradise after death. And so they would like on their deathbed convert and like accept Jesus Christ and all this stuff with the hope that like, this is my only shot at heaven. So like the fear of death, this is like, you know, the fear of death is so powerful that, you know, people would be willing to walk away from like a lifetime of their belief and ideology, you know, simply because the fear of death and then the promise of like salvation after death is so alluring and powerful. You know what I mean? You know what I'm saying? I think there's more going on with Arcane right now. Either Ardashir is controlling her or she's Ardashir shapeshifted. I mean, Arcane, I don't know. Why do you say that? What's the theory on that? Heard that's criticism in a lot of stories that they didn't know enough about the character who died, so they don't care. They did that with Attack on Titan 2, just don't understand that. It's like, you know, like I said, it's just depressing. Like it's super depressing. Like that, you know, the thing is, I actually enjoy listening to Kuki talk about stuff like that, because if I hadn't heard him say that, it wouldn't have made me go and like write and analyze all of the stuff I just talked about. You know what I'm saying? I wouldn't have actually been made to think about it, because like that, you know, you know what I'm saying? But to me, it's just like, it's super wrong. Like, and I know in his review, what he's going to say, and this is why the review is going to end up, like our reaction to the review is going to end up taking 8 hours, is because he's going to say that like, I feel nothing for these characters, so I don't care when they die. So, and then I'm going to spend like 6 hours talking about that. So, I mean, we just kind of did, but. Yeah, the 6-hour reacts at 3-minute videos are even more underrated. Well, you know. I think one was, so you're talking about why you didn't feel much for Ace, right? So I think one, unironically, was his design. He felt out of place compared to the others. 2 is that you really don't know anything about him at that time. 3, I don't think the death itself was well portrayed. Christians won't attack other Christians, really? I feel like half the wars in history. Yeah, so like, in theory, I mean, like in reality, that didn't work out. But I think in theory, that was like the theory, you know? Like, I think, I'm not like Christian, I don't like know anything, but I think from what I've known of reading about it is that it's supposed to be like, you know, against the rules to like attack and kill other Christians if it's not like, you know, in self-defense or whatever. But like the idea, yeah, like I think it would be super taboo, the idea of like what the Vikings were doing to like the English and like at that time, you know what I mean? Would be like super taboo anyway, you know. Nirvana in Buddhism is not about death, but rather enlightenment. One of the things I like about it is there's no one fixed way to achieve Nirvana. Yeah. Yeah, I was maybe a little, you know, not accurate, but yeah. There's no way she came out of that battle barely injured, unless she's way more powerful than we think. I mean, it could be that Ardashir just didn't want to kill her. You know what I mean? Like, I don't find that Ardashir is like, I haven't found that Ardashir like wants to kill anybody, is the thing. Like, I think he's shown that he will to achieve his goals, but he's not like, you know. I mean, maybe if he thought killing Arcane would like let him out of there so he could keep doing his thing. I don't know. It depends. She also did have the power of like the Sui proxy, so. I think what bugs me about the whole death talk is that it only focuses on Ron Yi himself when you see how negatively it impacts Tong Tong and the other Qingbo NPCs, but all gets swept away. Yeah, that's the other thing about what Kuki was saying is like, so that was another character. So along with Arcane and Wang Yi, it was like Ron Yi. I don't care about Ron Yi. I don't care about that story because like I didn't care about him. So when he died, I didn't feel anything. And like to me, again, just it sounds harsh to say it, but it's really a juvenile analysis of the story, and like it's extremely surface level. It does not even attempt to analyze anything deeper in the story, like at all, dude. At all. Like it's extremely surface level. It sounds harsh, but like that's just how it is. And like if no one's saying it, like how are we gonna, if no one's saying it, how are we gonna convey that? Like there is so much you can analyze. There's so much I could write an entire video. I probably will actually. I'll probably dedicate an entire video to like Tong Tong and Ron Yi. Because there's so much that you could analyze about that. Other stories, like I even was, again, when I was thinking about it earlier, because I was like at the gym and then like in the car on the way to and from the gym, I was like thinking about all this stuff. It's like, I'm rewatching Avatar: Last Airbender again, and so like if anyone's seen Avatar, there's a character called Jet who actually has a very similar arc to Ron Yi, where Jet, his like family and village is burned down, destroyed, his family's killed by the Fire Nation. So Jet is like, you know, has these like very, very justified grievances, but what he ends up becoming is like someone who will, kind of like the like reunion movement in Arknights, like they're willing to like kill innocents to hurt the Fire Nation, to get them back, right? To destroy the Fire Nation. And it becomes about like destroying rather than really like protecting or saving anything, you know what I mean? So like Jet, similarly to Ron Yi, Jet has like these grievances of the past, like he can't let them go, right? He can't let go his like pain and hatred from what the Fire Nation did to his family, and that causes him to like continuously make the wrong decisions. And Jet also dies, although he kind of like it redeems himself, is on the path to redeeming himself. But and his is very tragic because like he's also young. You can tell he's like starting to take the right path, but then in his moment when he decides to do the right thing, he like dies because of it. And like it's very tragic in that sense because it's like a redemption arc cut short, which ironically, if you think about it, it's very, very interesting because it kind of is the mirror to Zuko's redemption arc, which is also taking place at that exact moment, except, you know, Zuko also decides to do the right thing. It's very interesting. There's a lot to say there. There's a lot to say about that. And I might analyze that in my like Ron Yi video that I'm going to make. Definitely, actually. But Black Snake. Yeah, I don't know anything about that yet. I don't know anything about that yet. All the people going on about, oh, Tata didn't make me feel anything. They're just trying so hard to make us feel something and shoving it down our throats. Yeah, I could even analyze Tong Tong's death from could even analyze like Tong Tong's Tata's death. Good example, John Wick's wife and his dog dies and we see how it affects him. Does nobody care about those? Yeah, you could even, yeah, that's a good point as well. Yeah. Yeah. But like, you know, the reason I even brought up Jet is because it's to say that like these kinds of stories, and for those in the Discord with the elite ball knowledge from Discord, I wrote out like a reply to some comment in the video. I didn't post it, but I might make a video. Like it's gonna go in my video. But what someone said was like, look, I don't care. Essentially, like it's boring. I don't care about these characters, I think. So I brought the Tong Tong Ron Yi thing. And one of the underlying concepts behind this idea of don't hang on to the past so much that it sabotages your future is like, it is part of this like greater concept of, we talked about it before. It's called Vasana in like Hinduism, Buddhism, like philosophy, right? So like Vasana means habitual thinking, and what the yogis say is that 99% of your thoughts, in reality, it might even be like 99.9%, like something like that. Like basically like 99.9% of your thoughts are habitual, meaning that, you know, they're kind of like thoughts formed from habit, just like things that kind of pop up in your head over and over again, and like by virtue of like appearing over and over again, you believe they're real. So like one of the common examples is used in like when it comes to like psychotherapy or whatever is how like people become very, very depressed or down on themselves, and they'll tell themselves, you know, you're a loser. Like, I'm a loser, right? I suck. I can't do anything. I'm a loser. Nobody likes you. Nobody will like you. Like they'll just sit there and they'll tell themselves that over and over and over and over again for days, weeks, months, years, right? Until that becomes a part of who they are. You know, like if you sat there and you told yourself, I am a loser for like 10 years straight, like that is your reality. You have created that reality through habitual thinking. And like the goal is to understand that like those are just habitual thoughts. Those aren't real, you know, like you are not a loser. There's nothing about you that is like, you know, inherently Like there's no physics law that says that like you are a loser, you know? So like, anyway, the whole habitual thinking idea comes in with Ron Yi when Ron Yi is like not able to let go of these thoughts, right? Not able to let go of this like pain and these, you know, feelings of like grievance and revenge, and you know what I'm saying? So like, and because he's not able to do that, he, you know, would honestly be leading his people towards destruction if he wasn't stopped, but he inevitably like it causes his own destruction. So, you know, like there's like a deep message there if you care to like analyze the story beyond like, did I like Ron Yi? Did I like his backstory? I guess I didn't, so I don't really feel anything. Like, you know, to me it's just like, it's so depressing and boring to look at stories that way when there's so much like beauty to like extract and to learn, and to like, you know, it's so much fun to like analyze stories, and to just be like, they didn't show enough of Ronnie's backstory, I just didn't care, LOL, bad storytelling. Like, I don't know, people are free to do that, but I don't fuck with that like at all. So I don't fuck with that. Like on some level, yes, you have to like the characters and care about them, but there's a balance, you know, like it's you know, there's a balance, and like it's not the end all be all. And in many ways, like, you know, you care about Tong Tong. So like, you know, like was said earlier, you care about Tong Tong to see the effect it has on Tong Tong, what like Ronnie's self-destruction, like to see the effect of Ronnie's self-destruction on Tong Tong, it gives you that emotional element. Although I guess those people would say, I don't care about Tong Tong either, so.
I almost didn't see you. For me?
I need Shen to 200% trust so I can get all of her voice lines. Jet is an awesome character, yeah. Jet's really great. Tata death only makes me sad because the thing was genuinely cute. I mean, that's fair. Like, if I was going to talk about Tong Tong's death, not to get into it after we just talked about all that other stuff, but obviously there's like Yvonne, right? There's also the question of like consciousness, because Tata had like arguably achieved like greater consciousness. And so even like Tata's death could be a challenge to say, like, even though this thing doesn't look human, if it like thinks and feels like a human, does its death still like mean something, right? Like, and Tong Tong had like several times exhibited like higher emotional kind of like forms of thinking and like caring about her comrades or its comrades or whatever. And like, again, the ultimate, like, it, you know, I kind of like intellectually broke down why self-sacrifice means so much earlier, but like, you know, Tong Tong also has the same thing where like she's willing to give up this like it's almost arguably even more tragic because it's like this newfound kind of life that she's like just developed. She's like immediately willing to give it up, like, which maybe says something about like the strength of like human connection. That like, even though she was like essentially just born and she just like achieved it for the first time, she's like already willing to sacrifice herself for it, you know, something like that. Any effect it had on me was because I cared for Tong Tong. The guy who commented was also creating an argumentum just because someone plays the game and has every character at level 60 doesn't mean your opinion is automatically correct. Yeah, I mean, yeah. I think the idea is that like you're obviously free to like criticize and say whatever you want, like obviously. Like no one's like coming into your house and like turning off your PC and like putting you in jail, you know, like for criticizing something. But like, so like, but the thing is, like, you're not equally entitled. So you're entitled to like speak your mind, but you're not equally entitled for people to like care and think that your opinion carries any weight. You know what I'm saying? If you don't like put any amount of effort into you know, doing critical analysis rather than like surface level petty criticism, then why would anyone care? about your ideas. I think Ronnie was well portrayed. If you read the notes, it shows his impact on the entire stockade. I haven't even gotten to reading all the notes, and I'm probably going to, if I do the Ronnie video, I'll probably have to go back and like read everything and like rewatch the story and all that stuff. With Tata, it's strange because the side quest with the bot somehow did it more impactfully. Which one? I'm kind of guilty of like not paying attention to that many side quests early on, but I'm kind of, now that I'm like more invested in the story and I'm like reading all the Arknight story and I'm doing all this stuff and I want to make videos about it, I'm going to start like paying attention to all the side quests as well. Sorry, I just read something. I'm not gonna read that, but I just read something that I don't even know what that was coming from. I've heard in interviews that Arknights is a story about bravery, and that's why the use of guns isn't widespread. I'm say bravery died the day the first bow was shot, so I interpret the use of oh, that's interesting. Yeah, I've heard that as well before. That's interesting. Dude, I like how you can even get like other people's mortars going. I mean, this is just gonna be like a complete slaughter. Hold on. Dude, I have 15 you can place here. Oh my god. Man, I'm definitely kind of just backing these up. More notes in Stockade after the main quest? Okay. You're free to criticize. I'm also free to criticize your criticism. Dude, that's the exact thing that this like trend of like crashing out because like we're not, the trend of crashing out because like we're not allowed to criticize Arknight's Endfield is like, to me, like so performative because it's like, you know, it's like performative in pearl clutching because it's like, oh, like, you know, you're because the thing is like you're obviously free to criticize. No one's like taking that away from you. But what you really want is the freedom to criticize without being criticized back for your takes. Honestly, that's, to me, that's kind of what it feels like. I don't know. Maybe some people feel genuinely like their ideas are being repressed, or like maybe the charitable interpretation is that the ideas are not like being considered as much as they should, and that's what they mean by that, but I don't know. So are these hyper beam towers any good? I feel like they're like really strong for single target, no? I feel like you want at least a few of them. I mean, this is already overkill with what I have, but would absolutely love seeing you do more lore videos. Endfield doesn't have anyone that actually talks and cares about the lore. Only the occasional lore vid. Yeah, I think I will be doing that, actually. It seems like it's pretty receptive. People really like it, and I really want to also bring this, like, on top of just talking about the lore, I want to also bring this element of like story and like literary analysis, you know what I mean? It's something I really enjoy doing, so I'll probably be tapping into that. We probably know Camille's weapon, right? Do we know what Camille's weapon things are? Is it worth like pre-farming this? Camille, weapon, essence, Endfield. Reddit's got me. Agility, heat, flow. Agility, heat, flow. Agility, heat, flow. Agility, heat, flow. Okay, we can do it. Bring the lore videos? Gotcha. Heard. They're kind of bad mortars. Full mortar is the way. Hey, watch some of your videos, and man, I've never agreed with someone so much. It genuinely feels like everyone misrepresents this game so hard. Yo, thank you. Thanks for the kind words, everybody, about the videos. I appreciate the support on the videos. Or like, I appreciate that, or like, I'm glad that people like them, is what I should say. I'm glad that people are liking them. And yeah, it does kind of feel like that. Like, the reason, like, I feel bad every time I bring up Kuki Kaze, because like, I feel like he's genuinely and generally like pretty positive, and like, kind of goes against, like, he goes against like all the bad faith stuff very well, like revenue stuff, right? But like when it comes to, I just like have heavy disagreement with the actual like, you know, analysis of the game, and especially the story. Like everyone that I've heard talk about the story, I just like have not heard like any of the ideas that I have. And that's not, I don't know, like I'm not trying to say like I'm the only one, but like that's like the frustrating part. That's what like, that was the motivation for me to like even make the video in the first place. So that's what motivates me. And it's cool, like it's cool that there's like like-minded people like y'all, you know what I mean, who also feel that way. So that's like, it's like kind of vindicating and encouraging, you know what I mean?
Awesome! Can we do it again? There's some teamwork!
They're strong for single target, but the mortars are so strong for both AoE and single target, the towers are irrelevant. Okay. I feel like they're supposed to target like, specifically target like stronger enemies, but yeah, I don't find it like mattering that much. Maybe in a tower defense setting, but in this setting, it probably doesn't matter that much. Oh my god. Wait, the AFK farming is about to be insane. I'm gonna go back to all the previous regions and like set that up too. Dude, I can't wait for the quality of life on the essence farming. Agility, heat, flow. That's what it was. When nuke in Endfield? That kind of felt like a nuke right there. That kind of felt like a nuke. Kind of similar. Are we checking Mifu VOD and spending 1 hour on it? What's the Mifu VOD? Is there like is there like a video they posted? I saw something like that. They post like a video. Like the reason I didn't watch, I think I saw it on Twitter. The reason I didn't watch it is because I just expect it to be like full story spoilers. Is that true? I feel like some people are only playing the game to critique even though they ignore any improvement. It does kind of feel like there's some people out there that don't actually like the game and just kind of are more doing it because like critiquing it gets views. I don't know. That's like a wait. I literally sniped. Holy dude. This is why when I brought up the whole RNG thing about this game, like RNG is such a non-factor. It's like a fun version of RNG because we did this. Oh, the chat just like did a weird thing with the YouTube chat. It's like a fun version of RNG where like you're like certainly gonna get it in a very short amount of time. But it's just like, oh my god, it's like rolling. Like, oh, did I get it? Did I not get it? Like, immediate. We're gonna keep farming.
I'm feeling better.
No, don't doubt yourself. You are the only one who gets it. All these dumbasses lmao. My streamer ego is going into the stratosphere. I am him. Streamer ego activated.
Together, people.
Feels people want Endfield to be like Arknights, same themes.
That was some perfect
That's one of the most common things that I see, which is like like y'all know, so I've been reading Arknights and like I've very much noticed just an obvious difference in storytelling and like the way the stories are set up. Like Arknights is like obviously in a very like tragic and broken world, almost you could say. But there's someone shared a video, I forgot who the creator was, but it was the one about absurdism, like the lore of Arknights is absurd, something like that, or Arknights is absurd, whatever the video was, that made this very, very strong case. I didn't even power these mortars, bro. All of them, some of these are not even powered. I think there's only like these two, right? But it made this case that like Arknights itself is also a story about hope, you know? It's just that it's like more about like hope in the face of this like extreme, how would you put this? Like brutality and darkness, I guess. Like the spark of light that exists within the dark, I suppose. But Enfield's like also very much about hope. But I think it's more of like it's like more of a Lord of the Rings hope versus a like Game of Thrones maybe hope. You know what I'm saying? Does that analogy make sense to people? Only 111 need to farm better? I mean, I'll just feed it fodder. It's fine, right? It's fine if it's only 111 at the start. Because you can max it out anyway, right? Yeah, I really like this game for this game, and I'm getting upset that it... Wait, hold on. Oh, like they're getting upset that it isn't adhering to their label of a 3D gacha, or their label of an Arknights game? Yeah. All the story videos are just ads, do not contain any spoilers, and sometimes only themes. Okay. Already got all perfect essences for all weapons in the game, farming fodder to upgrade them? Yeah, dude, me too, actually. I have perfect essences for like basically every weapon, even weapons that I'm not using. At one point, I just said I would just go for them and just farming fodder, basically. Even, dude, even the RNG on upgrading them is like, because there's like a guarantee, there's like a limit. It's really not bad at all. It's like really, really achievable. Yes, never invest in singles when you can high roll. I miss Ken Kaneki, now our glazing is too strong. I mean, dude, I think as like a challenge to myself, I also need to come up with like critique, like, you know, more negative critique, I guess, of Endfield, because there's definitely some things you could say. Honestly, I don't really feel compelled to talk about Valley 4 that much, because I feel that Valley 4 was like this like Frankenstein's monster of a story that was like really plagued by like last minute rewrites and like this like weird editing monstrosity. And so it's almost like, can you even really criticize a story that is like barely even like was the vision of the storyteller, you know what I mean? That was just kind of like cobbled together, probably more based on like market research and like what's it called? Yeah, market what's it called? Whatever, like the surveys or whatever. Market research is probably the term. I don't know why I'm doubting it, but like, you know, I'm more interested maybe in Wu Ling and then in future stories, I suppose. Find it sad no one in the Arknights community, even the grassroots CCs from OG, has ever made a nuanced review on Enfield. It always has a snarky side comments to it. Yeah, I know what you're talking about. It's something that is like severely lacking, I think, from the space. Kind of sad, honestly. Like, and again, the reason I even feel compelled to make the videos is because, you know, like, again, not to harp on this one guy, but like, when I see like Kukikaze say stuff that I just find to be like so like absurd about Enfield, where I'm like, you know, this is like easily kind of disproven or could like easily be argued against. Like this, I just have a difference of, I guess you say difference of opinion, but I feel very strongly about it, but which, you know, go watch the VOD from the, or go watch the VOD at the beginning of the stream where I like talk about some of that stuff, but the game changed 4 times after they did the map story. Yeah, it's Valley 4 in and of itself is a little you know, I think to me, honestly, it did the job of like introducing me to the world, kind of getting me a little like immersed in this world of Enfield. But I know there's some weakness when it comes to like the overall plot narrative, which is to be expected whenever there's like last minute rewrites of anything. How do I get up here? Is this part of like this area? There's supposed to be a quest that lets me in there, right? Wasn't it supposed to be after? Does Fong Yi give it to me? Or is it this? One more day till 1.3, can't wait. Super excited. Ready to get Mifu. And I'm kind of really interested about Sword Vault Dale. This is not the quest. Unless it is. Wait, actually it might be. Are they gonna let me in to this area? This chest might be back here. I'd also like to see your analysis on OG Arknights analysis of the stories, since you rarely find those types. I probably will get into that as well. I probably will as I'm reading through it, and then you'll probably see like supporting you like, because when I do analysis of stories, I really like to bring in other stories as like supporting evidence or like stuff like that. So you'll probably see it a lot start to spring up in that sort of thing too. Like when I brought up Jet, like Jet's arc from Avatar with like Ron Yi, right? Really shows how small Arknight's community is, at least on the global side. I mean, there's a still pretty strong chunk. Like, Theo's like a pillar. He like has the normal Arknights videos and the like Endfield. Yeah, they just opened this, and like the Endfield base guides and stuff. Valley 4 is perfectly serviceable as a starting area and story. Good amount of world building and characterization be appreciated, and the factory gameplay ramps up. Yeah, honestly, you know, like I think it's like I understand where people come from when they talk about the main plot narrative, but as like a vehicle to immerse you in the story, and again, something I talked about in the last video is like there's this larger kind of theme to Endfield, which is the mission to advance and protect the civilization band. So, you know, it gets you associated with that very, very nicely, I think. And like it got me like kind of enough immersed and invested in the world of Endfield and therefore Arknights as a whole. Even if it's not like, because you know, when I was talking about the difference between Arknights and Endfield, like, and I was talking about certain patterns, something I've noticed is that when it comes to the like bad guys or the villains or something, is that they'll do this whole thing where, and it's good, right? But they'll do this whole thing where they'll go into their backstory. They'll kind of tell you what their backstory is. It's usually very tragic. Like for the reunion people I've seen so far, it's like, you know, there was Skull Shatterer. His name was like Alex or something, and then there was Misha, and then like Frost Nova, right? And like Frost Nova was one of the ones that was kind of the most, you know, you get this like tragic backstory that is very compelling and kind of like lets you know how she became who she is, and like how that all happened, and you know, you understand, I guess you understand the villains or the antagonists on a deeper level, but you don't get that with Neferith. And what I've always said about Neferith is that, like, to me, it's like, I think like Arknights people come and they see that, like, you know, that we don't have that same thing in Endfield, and then therefore Endfield is a bad story and this is bad storytelling and it's not making you like care about the villains in the same way. And to me, that's like a misunderstanding about like storytelling itself, because like that is not the only way to tell a compelling story or to like convey a compelling message is through like that method. And what I always use as an example is Lord of the Rings, which is like very compelling literature, and how in Lord of the Rings, Tolkien will use certain like antagonists and villains as vehicles to maybe portray or convey some thought he has on the nature of evil as a whole, as opposed to like, look at this tragic backstory. Don't you feel sorry for this person? Don't you feel really sad that they're in this position? You know, isn't it making you feel that there's like some gray area? Maybe like they're justified and you're trying to struggle with this question. Like, was it justified what they did? Why is Rhodes Island like fighting against them? Why are we in this position where we have to fight each other? Like, you know, and that's all very compelling. That's not to say that it's not, but it's not the only way to convey those messages. And I bring this up all the time, but like what Tolkien would do, for example, there's this villain called Grima Wormtongue, and this villain is like, he's like, you know, you know, if an Arknights player saw it, they would say that's a two-dimensional guy, you know, just evil, just, you know, don't tell you anything about his backstory, you don't know anything about him, how he came to be that way or whatever. But you know, the way that Tolkien portrays him is like he's supposed to portray evil in the sense that it's very, you know, this very base way. Like, God, I'm gonna go off on such a tangent here, but like, there's this, I want to say it was either like Aristotle or Socrates or something, said that like, you know, I think it was them, but some philosopher said something about like, you know, the thing that separates humans from animals is essentially like our ability to go against our base instincts, right? Like this is kind of what makes us like a higher form of like being and consciousness. This is what makes humans what they are. This is if anything, I think it might have been Aristotle, because he talks about like the purpose of things, like the, you know, like the purpose for something's existence. But like basically would say like the reason that humans kind of exist in a way, what humans do better than anything else in existence is to like be able to have this higher form of thinking where we can go against our base instincts, base consciousness, base like, human like, needs like lust and greed and whatever. And like Grima Wormtongue is this character that like succumbs to all of those things. Like will like sell out his country, sell out his people, will like kill many innocent people for the sake of lust, because there's a woman that he wants that he like has no chance with, obviously, and for power because he wants to basically take control of the kingdom, right? So like, and Tolkien, having been a soldier in World War I, saw like what happens when people are willing to like kill and die and destroy for the sake of like power and these like base things, understood this aspect of evil in a very deep way, where like Grima Wormtongue's, him like falling to his base desires for those things, it would be considered like, one of like the hallmarks, one of the pillars of like evil. So in that sense, you have a two-dimensional guy that conveys quite a lot. And like when it comes to like Nefereth, for example, do we know necessarily anything about her? Do we know like how she got to be like that? There's like some vague posting, maybe not. But at the end of the day, she portrays evil in a certain way that I think is effective. So you despise the quarry. Wait, why? What's wrong with the quarry? Are you going to drama farm on Enfield low revenue? Me? No, I don't know if I'm gonna make any like revenue videos ever. Maybe we talk about it on stream, but there's not much to say about it. Like we talked about it earlier. Like it was pretty obvious, because Fongy's banner started in the middle of April. It's kind of obvious when there's no new characters in the month of May that it's going to be low revenue. But oh, you were joking? Oh, well. Anyway. I feel like Nefereth and Artistry make a great contrast to each other. Artistry is trying to convince MC to join them, while Nefereth wants to get revenge on MC for something.
People say that the essence shall reveal itself. Is there something I missed?
Yeah, see, Quarry, I played Quarry before I really committed to paying attention to the side quest, and like Quarry is, I don't really know what the story of the Quarry is, but it's something I'd have to look into. But yeah, so like with Nefereth, I think like for me just kind of doing like a quick and dirty analysis of Nefereth, like I actually kind of connect her to another way that Tolkien wrote evil, which is that, and this is not even Tolkien, but this is something that's like kind of central to many like even religions and ideologies, but essentially it's this idea of evil is that evil is not capable of creation, evil is only capable of destruction, right? And there's this whole idea like it's super easy to destroy things, it's really hard to create things. In fact, I know from a little I know about like like Christian theology that also plays into the whole idea of like God has the power to create, and ergo like creation is like something like that. I don't know, it's like don't quote me on that, I don't know that much about that stuff, but like it's kind of obvious that like create like if building a building is like super hard to do, and think about even like some of those beautiful like architecture and buildings and stuff, and like we saw this in like World War II, where like I mean, you see it even today with like cultural sites and ancient history being like intentionally bombed to like try and destroy culture, because like why? It's because like evil only knows how to destroy, evil cannot create, and evil is like envious of like the rich culture that is portrayed by those creations. So like the base instinct of evil is to destroy those things, and but anyway, like with that kind of overarching idea of evil, Nefereth has been extremely, even though she's kind of seems maybe two-dimensional. We don't know that much about her yet. I think we're gonna figure out more about her, hopefully. But even as she is now, it's very clear that she can be read as like a, you know, she's like all about destruction. She's all about destroying things. She can't create anything. Like even when she takes over this bone crusher society and becomes like the leader, she doesn't like create a functioning society. She like, you know, corrupts and perverts it and uses them as tools, right? She doesn't see them as people. She doesn't see it as a culture. She views them as tools to be used in the pursuit of destruction. So like even then you could say that Neferth carries some of that meaning and value, and there's like analysis there. But I guess if you don't know about her tragic backstory, you can't care about her, and therefore don't really care, you know? Doesn't matter. Nothing story, I guess. Dude, I should just clip all of this as a VOD and just post it. I really just should just do that. That's what everyone does nowadays. They just like clip their VODs, and I don't think I was supposed to do that. Stop. Yeah, they just like clip their VODs and post it. I think I should just do that, honestly. Kind of obvious there's like a need for those ideas to get put out there. Oh, I need this, right? Is this all I'm supposed to do, is just move the water back and forth? I prefer an organized thought video over randomly posting a stream segment like other streamers do. Yeah, I mean, I prefer those too, but it just takes so long, bro. I mean, I really should, honestly. And I think I won't end up posting this, even though I think that was pretty coherent, but there's a lot more you can do to like flesh out the ideas, you know. It's just that's the weakness of it, is like, or like that's like the natural disadvantage of trying to go like in depth and do like an in-depth analysis, is because it's super easy to just like yap on a stream and then like cut it and send it and like post it. Like some surface level stuff, like I didn't really care about that character, so, you know. So I didn't feel anything about the story, and the story makes me feel nothing. And that's my review of the 1.2 story. Like, that's pretty easy to do, and like you can do that at a much faster rate than it takes to actually analyze a story and compile evidence and all that stuff. But you know, c'est la vie. Neferth is destruction, while Ardashir avoids it. I think in Rings of Power, they showed orcs being kind to their children, and everybody criticized it. The reason they criticized it, and the reason that was a foolish and stupid thing to do in Rings of Power, is because, like, you know, you can go and find, like, some of Tolkien's writings, like, in his letters, where, you know, like, the orcs, again, this is the other thing about, this idea of like evil can only destroy, they can't create. It's not just like the buildings, you know, like the architecture and stuff that I was talking about. It's like, you know, the idea of building like culture and language and like values and like all of that stuff. It's like, you know, in like a, you know, the whole like gray area thing, it exists in some stories, but like what Tolkien was trying to portray is like the inclination of evil is to like destroy all that stuff, you know, is to reject that. And like that is stuff that you see, you know, in humanity. And again, what Tolkien was trying to say is not that, bro, how the heck am I supposed to get rid of this water? Oh, I need to like empty this all into here. Okay. Like what he's trying to say is not that like, you know, there are individual, like, there are people out there that like fully represent this form of evil, like of the orcs. Like there are, you know, there are like orc people, right? Like dehumanize, because that's something that's literally used, like the dehumanization of people, like call them orcs, call them subhuman. They're not human, so it justifies doing like unspeakable atrocities to them. Like that was not Tolkien's goal. The goal is to say that like, you know, this is an element of evil and it exists within us, right? Like humans are capable of portraying this kind of evil, and that's like what you saw in World War I with like the devastating amounts of like death and destruction and rejection of, you know, humanity, right? That you saw like people expressing. It doesn't mean that like, you know, entire civilizations are like orcs and they're like, you know, black and white, all evil, like all those people are evil in that civilization. Like that's not what he's trying to say. You know, it's that like, understand, you know, you have to understand what evil is if you can like fight against your own internal, you know, base instincts to go towards that, right? Like, is it enough that I can do this? Oh my god. Oh my god, dude. Is the quarry that hard to navigate, guys? I feel like it kind of was, but that was kind of like the puzzle of navigating it. Was like Rossi just fucking committed, bro. Yeah, your videos are clearly thoughtfully scripted, which not only shows a proper understanding of the topic, but also informs the viewer. I need to hit this. Informs the viewer that what you discuss is worth the effort, if that makes sense. Yeah, for sure. And the thing is, the reason I'm also inclined to do the scripted thing is because like I really care about some of these topics and values and like the things with like Tolkien and the, you know, literature and stuff. I really care about it so much that like I want to represent it like the best that I can and not just kind of clip the VOD or something. I feel like I did a good job when I was just talking about it because literally because we've talked about it so much that I've talked about it so much on stream and stuff that at this point I'm getting better at just like off the cuff talking about it, but still. The Endman fan event. Maybe use what you say during the stream for talking points. Yeah. And because the thing is, the other reason like discussions are really good when we discuss things on stream is it does give me a lot of ideas and like sometimes like gets like the brainstorming and the thoughts flowing, and then like I take some of those and flesh them out more like in videos. So for sure. Found it fun to navigate quarry? I feel like it was fun. I think it's good that it was maybe a bit smaller, because if it had been like a huge area and you were having to navigate like the same way for a huge area, it might have gotten old. But I feel like for what it was, like it didn't overstay its welcome, right? It didn't overstay its welcome. But it was, I enjoyed the quarry. But if you take a break from it and return, it's pain. Yeah, because like it's kind of like you can start making like mental maps of things of the quarry, and like how to get to certain places and like how to use the drill. And then if you forget how to use the crane to like get around, then you're kind of screwed. That's why you're the hero of the civilization band. Glaze me harder, Lucian. I actually saw the Endman with my own eyes. I can finally die in peace now. Like, if they want to relegate this to, I actually think this guy's supposed to be like kind of a joke, but people like you are the true heroes of Wu Ling. Yeah, let's say that. I think they're like playing this as a joke, so. Like you said before, Tolkien very much makes sure to make it clear that the orcs are a corrupted people, but most just don't engage with the source at all.
Constant
Yeah,
vigilance in every
exactly,
place and
exactly,
situation. This is a
exactly.
rule that I
The
never
orcs are
break.
like, I think from the elves, corrupted. And it's like very clear, you know? Very clear. So it's our video? well, well, let's not get hasty here. It's like getting dark. I have to open up the blinds. It's like getting cloudy and stormy and stuff. Dude, there's so many videos I want to make. It's just, I really just got to start locking in. I'm like, I really got to just lock in hard. Thing is, I've been pretty locked in the past like couple weeks, but it's still, some videos will just take like a long time. Was there supposed to be a chest here? Oh, above me maybe? So that was the end of that quest, right? But now I just have this whole area open to me, thankfully. He's an Endman fanboy. It doesn't help Endman glaze criticism, but this guy's funny or fun. Yeah, I think it's kind of being no way. Wait, I'm outside. Okay, the entrance is like over here, right? Yeah, I think that was being played as a joke. I think the Endman, like in universe, Endman glaze is like played as a joke a lot of the time. Because they are supposed to be like a legendary figure, but like honestly, I had to reply to one of the comments on the video where I talked about this, but like I think like if you're gonna have this whole setup where the Endman like is this like previous legendary figure, then you kind of, you know, you have to wonder like how do you handle that in the lore, in the actual story, because people are gonna know them. Oh my god, do I have to actually go this entire way like this? Because like people are gonna know who they are, right? So like, you know, realistically, and if they are this like legendary figure, they might have to like actually be glazed, or you have like people that are just like comedically over the top with it, and the Endman just like is uncomfortable or something. I don't know. I'm on the Endman glaze. It makes sense people glaze him. He's basically the Messiah, but I would like the Endman to stop being silent MC and have us play as other character POV. I agree on that for sure. For sure. Make the Endman a distinct character. Something else I talked about in the video is that the Endman is kind of like the best vehicle for exploring the core themes of Endfield. Because it just kind of makes sense that like the administrator would be like how you explore those core things, like you know, the idea of like humanity banding together to protect civilization, and this idea of like working together, healing divisions, etc., etc. All that stuff could be explored like with the Endman, but I do want to see like other character POVs for more like, you know, richness and like diversity and like storytelling and stuff. And You know, like something I said was that, you know, I was kind of brainstorming, you know, like how could you have an MC that isn't like the Endman with amnesia if you want to avoid amnesia? Because a lot of people hate amnesia like on principle. When like we've talked about before that it's like a pretty common trope in storytelling. Can I make this jump? Yes. I don't know if you're supposed to, but it's a pretty common trope in storytelling to have an MC or a main character that doesn't know a lot of stuff, whether that be through the amnesia thing or through just them like just like not like being like new to a world or something. And that way it's like very organic when they learn things, the audience can also learn things. But like if you wanted to have a similar setup with no character with amnesia, which I think I was brainstorming, it might be kind of compelling. It might be like my fan fiction brain, but it's like you could have taken like some village that's like on the fringes. Maybe they like exist outside the civilization, man. They're like on the frontier of the frontier, right? Take some village like that. You have some like nobody like kid or like young adult or something character that, you know, maybe the village gets like attacked and destroyed by Agaloy and like they like lose their family, lose their village, etc. And then like Enfield Industries kind of like picks them up, maybe like comes too late, saves them. They become like a recruit of Enfield. Maybe like the administrator kind of like chooses them, is like still in hibernation, but like chooses them and gives them some of those like Originium powers. So then bam, you have a character who's like doesn't have amnesia, but also because they're like a nobody from the boonies, they don't like know anything about anything, you know? And then they like are kind of given these like powers because they're like chosen to be worthy by the administrator who's like asleep, you know? Like, I guess you could do that. Like maybe that's like a little fan fiction brained, but like the choice to make the administrator the MC like created a lot of those problems in the first place. You know what I mean? Like you wouldn't have to worry about MC glaze if you hadn't chosen the admin to be like the MC in the first place. Is this like really all there is to this area? There's like more back there. Is this door open? I mean, at least has CV behind their back from the Agaloy War. And I do, because again, I do think the way they've done the Endman is the best they could have done. Like rather than having, you know, like in Wuthering Waves, how you're dropped in, how like Rover's dropped in and like, not only do they have amnesia, but like nobody knows who the fuck they are. Except like, I think maybe a couple who know him as like Lord Arbiter or some shit like that, right? And they've kind of like, you know, you can tell the difference in the approach with La Hero, where like everyone knows kind of who they are for the most part, from like their past. Like, I think it's better to have if you're gonna have an amnesic character, it's better to like at least have them have some history in the world where people kind of know who they are, rather than like totally like nobody even knows them. You know what I mean? It's something with isekai too. Exactly. Yeah. It's used in like basically every isekai. Like that's like the hallmark of an isekai for sure. But I've made examples of like, where like not in its like totality, but it will be used like in Avatar: The Last Airbender, you know, where like Aang was in the iceberg for 100 years, you know, and then he wakes up, he doesn't know anything about the current state of the world. So kind of add some weight to like, as you're learning and experiencing about like the current state of the world, you know, Aang is seeing some of it for the first time in regards at least to like the effects of the war, right? So it's like a thing, it's like a mechanic that is used sometimes. I mean, a lot of the time actually. Like you'd be kind of surprised if if you start looking for it in stories, you'd be kind of surprised how often how generalistic it is that like an MC is being introduced to a world they don't know much about, you know? The classic village bum that doesn't know shit. Yeah. Yeah, pretty much. It's a common trope, but it's overused in gachas. You can still create mysteries and things that the MC doesn't know without it. It's just a lazy way to do it. ZZ is an example. Yeah, so ZZZ is a good example on how you do that. And it's kind of clear that like you know, you don't need to have that set up to like convey the world to the viewer, because like ZZZ kind of does it. But like the thing is, you might even like, especially early on, you'll run into like circumstances where you have like a character that knows something explaining something to another character that also knows that. So like, you know, like in terms of like how organic it is, it's like, why is this character, why are these two characters who already know about like how the hollows work talking about how the hollows work, you know, like it's kind of like that, I guess. But the thing is that if you can gloss over it really fast in the beginning, then like people will overlook it, you know. Dude, oh my god, I almost fell again. If I just stay here, it's gonna come to me, right?
It's round. And
I'd say it's likely they've started on 2.0 by now. Oh yeah, for sure, for sure.
This is the actual size of Orly.
Yeah. I'm sure they had 1.4 finalized in terms of story before launch, even if they needed dev time for scenes, gameplay, and whatnot. Yeah. 1.4. So you think all the way up to 1.4? Dude, I don't remember who it was, but I saw someone make this claim that, and like in Endfield 1.3, that like this is the last, or like 1.2 was the last patch that was like finalized since launch. So 1.3 is where we might see some of the criticisms. Was it Kuki that said that? What was there evidence for that? I don't remember any evidence being given for that claim. That like 1.3 is where we'll start to see story feedback. Because even that is like highly doubtful, because even if you look at the entirety of like the Wuling arc, right? Like these kinds of story arcs are kind of written beforehand. Like there's like storyboarding, and they write these arcs before so that you have like, it's very natural. You have a very coherent kind of like plot that you've set up. It doesn't really make sense to like get to 1.3 and then be like, oh my god, we need to like look at all the feedback from the first and write the story now to incorporate that feedback. Like, I don't really think that's how it works. I kind of don't think that's how it works. Maybe they'll make some adjustments, but like, I don't know. Much harder to naturally exposit without amnesia? Yeah. Or like that character that doesn't know anything. Like remember like in Harry Potter, they do that too. Like Harry Potter has to go and like right off the bat, he doesn't know who like Voldemort is. And like Hagrid gets to sit down and explain to him like at least a little bit who Voldemort is. And then it kind of like even adds to build up Voldemort, because you like gradually learn more about Voldemort from Harry's POV. So even in something like that. I think in Enfield, why they went with amnesia is probably because Endman did a lot of shady shit and they had to erase it for the story. That's also possible. I think I kind of trust Hypergriff in the sense that I think we'll see like at least some sort of inversion of the amnesia trope, you know? Which like you could say doesn't explain relying on the amnesia trope to begin with, but I think it at least is more, there's more credit. Like it's still like you should still give them credit for like taking the effort to invert it and not just kind of being lazy about it. It was said by a lot of people, but there's no evidence. People who think 1.3 was post-launch don't have a single clue how game development works. Yeah, I don't even know game development, but like I was saying, just in terms of story writing, it wouldn't make any sense.
Very observant.
1.3 content was in the launch trailer. You most likely don't understand that devs doesn't work that way. Yeah. Till 1.2, the scenes were in Horizon trailer. Heard it from Moose on Caffeine. Also, no, the only evidence is the New Horizon trailer, since it's up to 1.2. Yeah, yeah, I don't, it might have been Moose, yeah, because I see like his shorts pop up on my feed and stuff. Yeah, I would disagree. Like, if there's no evidence and it's just like theory, I would disagree with that theory, because that's the thing, is like, we literally saw in Valley 4, and you see it all the time with like stories that do last minute rewrites. Like Destiny did that. Destiny 1 did that, you know, back in the day. Like, the idea of like making this Frankenstein's monster of a story, doing last minute rewrites, and like rewriting in the middle of a story has got to be one of the worst possible things you could do, because, you know, like rewriting a story to cater to like audience feedback is not how you do storytelling. Like, that's, you know, like a confident story writer would write their story, would kind of have like at least like an outline or a storyboard or something, and would kind of like have some general idea of at least the events that are going to go down. And, you know, so I don't know how much people think like they would change, and, you know, I don't know. Again, I'm not talking about anyone in particular here, but again, there's this symptom of like, you know, people thinking that their surface level criticisms are like super deep and like actionable feedback, when in reality it's just kind of like, I don't like this, make this more like Arknights, make this more emotional, do more of this, do more backstory, and then, you know, now do that, now incorporate my feedback. Like, you know, it's not really, it's not as actionable, I think, as some people maybe think that it is, but I don't know. Who am I? What do I know? Of course they would have to for the quality they had. They probably had up to 2.0 story-wise, heck, even parts of 2.x. I mean, there's like definitely lore threads that are being laid down that are already like decided. But yeah, I mean, in terms of like, I guess, plot writing, I don't know when they sit down and write all of that stuff. I mean, I would assume... Like, I would assume they could try and make some, like, additions, you know? Like, maybe they think, oh, we didn't, you know, we didn't exposit enough on this character's backstory. Maybe we need to add that in. Like, I don't know. Again, I really think that, like, the worst way to tell a story is to, like, cave to, like, audience feedback. Like, this goes to, like, that Steve Jobs quote, but it's like, dude, most fucking people, they don't know how to write a story. Like, I don't know how to write a story. Like, I've never written an original story. Like, you know, I can like critique and analyze and give feedback and stuff, but like, I don't know. Like, nobody fucking knows how to actually write a good story. Like, I think if these are like actually professional writers, like Hypergriff has been pretty good with writing, you know? Like, if they're good writers, I mean, you just gotta just let them do their work, you know? That's kind of where I'm, when it comes to storytelling, at least. You trust them to cook? There's very little reason to doubt until we see 2.0. Yeah. At this point, we're not going to have major rewrites. At most, they're going to change some scenes around. Yeah, I think that's about the most you can expect. How do I get this Orlean? Is it going to come down somewhere? I can get it. I just have to wait here. Yeah, what do you know anyways? Yeah. Damn it, that came around faster than I thought. I love the quarry now.
Its strategic significance probably exceeds its operational value.
Yeah, I was trying to get up, is it up here? It's not working. Oh. Yeah, it's up there. How does one get up there? The thing worse than that is that OG Arknights nerds slash smartasses like me can immediately make a convincing theory if Artishir was a little less vague posting. The vague posting is one thing that I understand, actually, like the grievance against vague posting, because It's just, it was a little too hard. I kind of get if there's a little bit of vagueness. But Artishare was doing it a little, I think a little too hard, perhaps. I need to go back and rewatch it just to see more, but dude, how do you get up there? From there? Bridge? Wait a sec, there's scaffolding up there? From over there? Perhaps? Perchance? I want to see Chen and Arcane Yuri. There's my feedback. Okay. Alright, noted. 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 Not sure on the order of priority on that, but noted. Oh, here we go. They can do part 2 of the quest on like Genshin or add them again when the story happens in Valley 4, either in the main plot events or story side or side stories. People only know whether it's good or bad, not the why. I mean, like, people can know why, but like analyzing why is a lot harder than just determining like if you think it's good or bad. That's the thing, you know? Like, and that's why, you know, a lot of people, this is like, I don't know, it's just a common thing with like critique, especially like internet critique. And I don't know, like, I'm not trying to sound like high and mighty about it. I'm just trying to convey like the acknowledgement that like critique is like very difficult, you know? Like, it's difficult for me too. Like, I'm not necessarily even good at it, is you know, I don't necessarily even think I'm good at it, but it's far more difficult and involves far more work than what a lot of people seem to think it does, is the thing. Why do these windows exist if I can't jump through them? This is tilting me. Oh, this is why they exist. Oh wait, nice. So a lot of people kind of confuse, you know, their like petty grievances or like surface level criticisms with, you know, super deep stuff, which it may, you know, again, maybe sounds arrogant, but you know, I do it too. Like you know, when we like shoot the breeze on stream and stuff, like I'll you know, do it too. It's kind of natural, but you know, you don't necessarily need to like pass off your, or like at least make an effort to not pass off those things as critique, you know? People nowadays confuse critics and confuses critics and complain confuses critiquing and complaining just because both deliver harsh wording. What's up, Brony? Chen Yu. Artisher was deaf being a tease, yeah. Maybe that's just his personality. Maybe he's just like rage baiting on purpose. Like, that's just kind of what he enjoys, you know? Which, like, honestly, if that's the case, fair enough. Fair enough. Doing a little rage baiting, I can respect it. It's like AI. If you're resorting solely to AI or user feedback, did you really have any kind of vision to begin with? Yeah, kind of true. Yeah. Dude, I love exploring in Enfield. This is like so like nice and cozy. I heavily fuck with Enfield exploration. Not only do most people saying story's bad not know how to write a proper story, but the ones that do write all have their own way of doing it. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I don't know how to write a story. I've never written a story before, but you know. Like I challenge, like I would challenge, because the thing is, I think they can. People can write. What's it called? I definitely need to do the other one first, right? I think those people could do the in-depth story critique analysis, you know? It would take a lot of work. It would take a lot of like research. I don't think they're incapable of doing it. I'm not saying they're like intellectually inferior and incapable of doing it. Like, I think it comes down to like an awareness thing where people don't necessarily know the difference between deep critical analysis. And like, it goes back to this very base aspect of human nature, which is the, what I've talked about before, like the type 1, type 2 thinking, where type 1 thinking is, you know, fast and like kind of based on emotion, but it's very like fast and like instinctive. And then type 2 thinking is like extremely logic heavy, extremely analytical. It takes a long time, takes a lot of effort. And, you know, realistically, you know, for anybody, like in most of your life, you're not going through most of your life doing type 1 thinking, you know, like think about, you know, if you see like a wasp, you know, you sit down there and, you know, write out for 10 minutes and analyze exactly why you should not go and like poke the hornet's nest, you know what I'm saying? Or do you like instinctively know, like I probably shouldn't poke that hornet's nest? Like, it's like that, you know? So it's not like you're stupid if you like engage in type 1 thinking every once in a while, like pretty much like 90% of your daily thinking is like type 1, right? But there's this like obvious phenomenon in human nature that we mistake type 1 or type 2 thinking for, sorry, we mistake type 1 thinking for type 2 thinking. So we think we believe our instinctive emotional reactions are like these deeply well thought out kind of logical, you know, analyses when they're not. So, you know, you kind of maybe sometimes need someone to tell you like, that's type 1, that's not type 2. And so I think they're capable of doing it. And I would be interested to see like some of these people do it if they ever were interested in doing it, but who knows if we'll ever get there. I don't know if we will. So like that's why you'll just hear something like you know, it's and sometimes it's hard to tell, but you'll hear like the whole like I didn't feel anything for these characters, so when they died or when they like almost died, I didn't feel anything, thus the story's bad, right? And like that can even feel like type 2, because it's like, you know, you thought a little bit about maybe you know, oh, like the character death was supposed to make me like feel something, and like maybe this is what they're trying to make me feel in this moment, but I didn't feel that. So like the writers did a bad job of this because I didn't really care about these characters because they don't like go enough depth of their backstory, right? But that's not enough, actually. That's why the bar is so high, right? The bar is like incredibly high, and that's why it's like difficult to do. Dude, is there a reason this isn't working? Hello? Is there not another square I can? Oh, it's in there. I never pushed it? It's awkward. Ardashir is getting revenge for something we don't remember. Ardashir has some more knowledge of events than we do. Ardashir knows something that we do not. Exploration in Enfield is peak. Yeah. Chen can't even produce her own name. Soup Soup is the only one who pronounces it right. We love Chen. We all love Chen. Yes, we all love Chen. Wait, what the heck? Oh, that's like another platform.
Caught it before it flew away.
What a proper level design. Do even with limited control in quotations because movement is included in design. Yeah. It's honestly, I think we've talked about this before. It's why I actually like I really like the limited movement of Enfield. You know, like not being able to climb walls like Breath of the Wild style. Which, dude, by the way, is like another thing when Endfield is called like a Genshin clone. Is like I just question mark that because like that climbing walls thing, like the ability to climb every single surface, I think was a Breath of the Wild thing. Like maybe it showed up in a game before that, but I know for sure that was something like Genshin took from Breath of the Wild. So like it all originated with Breath of the Wild, and you know, breaking customs with something like that has showed up now in every single open world game, 3D open world gacha game, like is kind of significant, right? Because it's like a core game design thing. Like it changes like pretty much how you engage with the open world on like a fundamental level. It's like why I would not call it a Genshin clone, actually. Because I kind of look at like, when I talk about Genshin clone, I kind of look at like what did Genshin also take from Breath of the Wild, and like what elements of those also make their ways into other games. Aren't you glad now you made enough heavy liquid Shironite? I am glad, and I should have like some. Yeah, I don't think I set that up. I was gonna set up to make even more, but I have like 1,000 something. I mean, I should have enough. But I do have excess heavy Shironite that I could just make some more if I wanted to. Dang, that's not even everything here. There's like more stuff over here. On that side. I think I got the puzzle piece I need to do this. Agreed, we love Chen. Or we all love Chen. Kugi's chat was like that on Ron Yi, even nitpicking on Ron Yi hurting Tong Tong, saying he never cared for her. Like with the goal of saying what? Speaking of hornet's nest, yesterday I got jump scared by a wasp trying to make it. Dang, that's crazy, dude. I have a wasp trying to make nests on my front door as well. It's pretty tilting, actually. It's the first time I've ever been like, because I've never before this I'd never been stung by like a bee or a wasp or like bitten by a spider or anything like that. The first time I got stung by a wasp was some motherfuckers were building like outside my front door and I didn't notice, and one of them came at me, and then I had to nuke their nest with bug spray. It is what it is. Proportionate response.
Constant vigilance in every place and situation. This is a rule that I never...
So then a story would do well to capitalize on the fact that most of the thinking is type 1 with some reaction provoking events, then directing the captured attention to something that requires type 2. Well, that's how... Well... That's fundamentally how storytelling kind of works, is like remember when I was talking about Avatar: The Last Airbender? Avatar: The Last Airbender is, I think, considered like a family show, because it's like something where like, you know, the kids will watch and be able to get something out of it, but then parents can watch with their kids and pick up on all these extra things, and it'll have like more value, kind of, you know, like especially on the more serious things regarding like war and, you know, the effects of war and stuff like that. But like kids will still be able to watch and extract a lot from it. So in that sense, like, you know, stories, they're obviously written in a sense where like they hit your type 1, like your emotions. But if you're going to sit down and like analyze a story, it requires a lot of usually deeper critical analysis. And is just something that, you know, in people who like, again, not even just talking about any individual, this happens like in every genre, right? Like this was a big deal in like the FromSoft community or whatever. Is it like people who like, you know, claim to be doing critical analysis are really just kind of doing criticism for like view farming, you know what I'm saying? Because like being kind of like an asshole for giving criticisms is kind of like good for views, and it's much easier than like actually doing a critique. Dude, how are we supposed to get to these chests? There's no way that's like the intentional way to... Oh yeah, I'm almost certain you have to use that as like a stepping stool or something, but yeah, there's no way that was the intended way to get that. But I like stuff. I like when there's like when there's like stuff like that where it's like not necessarily intended, but you can kind of get creative with it. Might as well call every shooter COD or Doom clone. Yeah, exactly. If every game is called a clone because of a few things being similar, then every game ever made would be a clone of each other. Yeah, like any game that has shooting is like, yeah, like a Doom clone or whatever, or like whatever the earliest. Wasn't Doom the first one? Every game is a Half-Life clone. The movement might be limited, but it's smooth. Movement feels, excuse me, responsive and natural. When I tried NTE, movement felt floaty and unresponsive. I kind of know what you're talking about, actually. The jump in Enfield feels really, really good and smooth.
People say that the essence shall reveal itself. Is there something I missed?
And in NTE, it can be like, it's almost like kind of choppy or something. Like I can almost feel the physics of like the jump when I'm like going through the air, kind of. Like, and you're kind of slow down at the top, and then you fall like almost like a physics, you know, like physics trajectory. Bro, this part of this map is like, how the hell are you supposed to? Oh, I'm supposed to like, I see. Okay. Biggest problem is that people really like patterns and are really happy to paint things in broad strokes. 3D gacha equals Genshin clone. People like the MC, harem slop, etc, etc. Yeah. Yeah. To me that's kind of like what the reaction to the amnesia thing kind of feels like. Because I mean of course I get it, and like it's really nice when there's an instance where there's no amnesia, but like to me, I don't think that like by itself makes a story bad. I think they can still write a good story out of it, but it is nice to see like the variety of like writing the premise when there's like no amnesia, and you know what I'm saying? I get it. Wait, I'm shredding. Oh. Might be everything here, actually. Guys, I think I'm ready for Mifu and Camille. We gotta just we just gotta hope I don't have to use 120 on both of them. Nah, Tetris is Pong Slop. Tetris is Pong Slop. That's tough. That's tough. It's not over here. NTE still has Tower Fantasy DNA sprinkled in? Does it? Does it feel familiar to a Tower Fantasy player? NTE lacks any polish. The duality of man. I mean, some people like NTE. Some people like it.
The smell of dirt, foul beast, and the enemy scent.
Hmm. The part where you didn't use the forklift seems the intended way. May have been an alternate intended way. Oh. Oh yeah. Interesting. Tribalism's everywhere. Gosh, is just kind of rampant due to the amount of dick measuring contests they conjure up. Yeah. 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 And you know, like on a positive note, you know, that's one of the reasons I like Mr. Kukikaze is because he does seem to be like anti-tribalism, which is like overall a good thing. And I enjoy the opportunity to be able to disagree on like story analysis and stuff. Let's just say that. Let's just say that. Let's just put it that way. But I will be unafraid. I will be unafraid to confront bad takes. Even the term bad take, I don't know about the term bad takes, like bad analysis. Let's go with that. I know this is unrelated to Enfield, but I personally want to know, what do you think of Wua's collab gacha problem they're having? Like new currency, new curl, getting less curl, and increased curl dupe? I mean, interesting question. I mean, we kind of talked about it on a previous stream. What's the best way to put it? To me, it's like, it obviously sucks. But at the end of the day, especially for any gacha, like if the content is good, then people are just gonna play it and pay for it, you know, either way. So, you know, like if they'd, you know, maybe people, if they like really ripped people off, maybe people would not pay for it. Like if they'd, like, let's say instead of just the whole like corals and radiant tides, they'd also made it so that, like, you know, you can't even use astrites. There's like in the new Night City map, there's like a new version of astrites that can only be used on the, you know, Night City banner or something, and then it only gives you like a certain amount, so that, like, you have to pay if you like lose a 50-50 on Rebecca, like on a Lucy or something. Yeah, something like that, right? Like if they did something like that, like maybe you'd see some reaction, but like what they did is like pretty much within the realm of like how gacha companies will fuck over their audiences. And you know, like thing is, to me, it just makes me a little more grateful for like what I got in HSR, where HSR, you know, didn't do like a separate currency. They had a separate like pity counter. Like they didn't do like a separate like pull currency or anything. They didn't do a separate like version of like the coral, you know. They made them like permanent banners rather than like they disappear after like 30 days or whatever it is, and then they're just like gone with no guarantee it'll ever come back. So there's like less FOMO. It makes me more grateful that, you know, I got that in HSR than whatever. Because how easily Hoyo and HSR could have, like, for a franchise like Fate, you know, how easily they could have like nickel and dimed everybody, but I don't know. I'd say it's just karma for shitting on HSR collab. It's overblown, but they had it coming. They had it coming.
Proper rest prepares us for a longer journey.
Doesn't help the...
It's light unleashed!
Engage.
Take this!
Ricky was gaslighted by the haters. Kuki never had any bad intentions. It's just sad that you kind of... sorry, what was I reading? I said he played into the haters' hands when making content on Endfield before. It's actually amazing how heavily I disagree with like almost all of his Endfield takes. Like outside of like the tribalism stuff and like all of the like people acting weird sort of stuff. When it comes to like the game itself, I virtually disagree with like almost everything, and like, you know, pretty much almost everything. At least all the stuff that like matters, like actual story analysis, and then stuff like saying I don't like the game or like it's a potential game, you know. Wait, I have another challenge. I think Kuki in his next sponsored like sponsored Endfield video, he should call the game a potential game, like at the beginning.
Let me see how good
I would like to see that. I wonder if that would go down. I wonder if that would happen. Since that's how he feels. I mean, I don't know.
War is never about mercy.
I don't know.
The name of the pack will echo across the land. Best thing I've done today.
The results speak for themselves.
I'm trying to scroll up on the chat a little bit, catch some earlier stuff. At least Kuki actively goes after Tobro, the guy overstayed his magnum opus. Yeah, kind of. Dude, the thing was, I think even, I talked about it in a recent VOD, I don't want to get into it again, but like even like Kuki's problem with Tobro is something I disagreed on, because like I had like a separate problem, but like, even then I was like, I was just like, it's amazing, bro. It's amazing. Because like I also think Tobro like went about things very poorly and represented the, had a lot of like problems with his videos or his analysis or whatever. But even like the problems that we have with Tobro are like different. So it's kind of funny. Well, I think on principle, on general principle, there's some common ground. So, what collab hate is also overblown, exaggerated. I already saw a thumbnail saying worst gacha collab ever. I think as long as the content is good and like from what I've seen, the actual open world looks beautiful and the characters I guess look cool. I think as long as the actual content is good and does the collab justice, then it'll be fine. It'll be fine. It's obviously scummy to do the whole like Radiant Tide, because like, you know, realistically with the Radiant Tide thing, I mean, people might have saved up like 10 to 20, depending on how long they're saving, because you get a certain amount of them per patch. So they might have been saving them up, and like 10 to 20 is like a significant amount for like a free-to-play or light spender, but so like it's pretty scummy. Like I don't like that, but it's kind of just like what I expect at this point. Yo, what's up, Plastics? Again, more like be grateful when companies are nice rather than, maybe that's for your own sanity, the idea of practicing gratitude or whatever, but like they shouldn't do that. Like Kuro should not have done that. It's not like they're hurting for money, you know? It's not like they're really like, you know, pinching pennies. They shouldn't have done that. But it's like, I kind of expected that from them. Like they're owned by Tencent. A lot of people have this like rosy-eyed glasses for Kuro Games specifically because they feel that Kuro Games like was like the, you know, the David that saved them from the Hoyoverse Goliath, like came and like saved them from the, you know, castle or whatever. And they're like the heroic company. Like I really think that's like a misunderstanding of what Kuro Games is as a company. They're like a gacha company like anybody else. And if anything, they're being connected to Tencent. They're like even more inclined to do stuff like that. But, you know. I do wonder what the Endfield community would have looked like if Tobo's videos never got traction. I don't know. Would it be better or worse? I don't know. Impossible to know. Recently watched Kuki's stream and he said he wants an NPC jail character that's good or hot. Dude, I hate this fucking chat thing. Did it get fixed? Okay, it got fixed on the other one. This one would like auto scrolls when there's a new message and I can't read earlier messages and it's like tilting me. Okay. We're good. Hold up. Hold up. Yeah, so he wants an NPC jail character that's good or hot, then get them killed. Like that's just Nefereth. And also he said that's how you write a story. I talked about this at the beginning of the stream. So if like you're curious about the long rant, you can go watch that on the VOD. But like I did catch that one part where he was like, this is how you write a story. You got to kill your characters. And just like juvenile. It's like not, it's ridiculous. I went really in depth on that in the beginning of the VOD, so. Interesting to see how much of an echo chamber WoW community became over the years. I remember people being able to actually criticize the game. I think there's a particular bad actor that might have been the reason for that. Dude, that's the thing is like especially recently, I've made a big conscious effort to not associate like I'm just, you know, saying Tone Toss, like the goblin, with WoA players or the WoA community at large, and like Saint Tone Toss's like goblin army, you know, that he sends to like brigade and harass people, and will like actively go out and like harass anybody that criticizes Wuthering Waves. Like I don't associate that small minority of people. Like literally, like it's got to be in like, if we talk about the Goblin Army, it's got to be like no more than 500 people. Like it really can't be more than that. It really can't be more than like 500 people. And just to not associate them with the larger WoA fan base, you know, or with Wuthering Waves, the game itself. Regardless of how good an opinion is, no one's going to listen to an a-hole. Simple as that. That's who Tobro is ultimately. The people that listen are the people that agree. That's the thing. You'll never kind of create any sort of discussion that way. it's the people that latch onto it are the people that just agree with what you're saying. And it's a very, you know, this is kind of why it's important to be cognizant of this, is because it's a very like two-dimensional support, because as soon as you start saying things those people don't agree with, then they're basically gone. You know, it's not real. It's just a matter of like, we all agree on this, you know? Wait, hold on, let me... I saw a comment I wanted to read. Oh, yeah. Kuki should not continue his stream to video format, because even though he means well, he says stuff that doesn't match what his thoughts are. Dude, I'm not sitting here gonna police anybody. I'm just gonna say this, right? Like, I think the idea of streaming your review creation process is not doing yourself any favors. Like, it's really not. Like, streaming it live, even in terms of like how you support your arguments, like, it is not doing you any favors at all, because everyone can see literally what like the research process, the thought process that goes into everything, and when it's not properly supported, people like clearly see that. Is what I'll say. Like, how like you can clearly see how much of it is just like, these are my feelings on the thing, and you know, like, I don't know, dude. I don't know. Maybe that's a little too harsh, but I don't know. I just feel like that's the nature of like content creation. If that's what you want to call it. Chad is always there to influence his videos during the making, and since he had a sizable audience capture from the hater side, it's visibly affecting the video sometimes. One of my complaints with Kuki's views too, he feels like he needs to argue for other people's points and give them air. Like, like fence sitting, almost. Like not really taking a stand on things. The WCCs I saw were only somewhat critical. I haven't seen worse collab ever. Could it be Genshin players trying to do the tribalist thing? I mean, I've seen some like of the diehard, not like diehard WoW fans, people that like really like Wuthering Waves, right? I've seen some of them who are like, they acknowledge the scumminess of some of the gacha alterations on the collab banner, but at the end of the day, again, and I understand this like fully, and I even if I was in that position, I'd probably be doing the same thing. Like, if the content looks good, if the characters look good, I mean, you're kind of just gonna play if it's fun, you know. And like it being good and fun is maybe the, you know, it's also important. Like, you know, people shouldn't go and like spend hundreds of dollars to get loot. Like, it's sad if someone like, you know, hadn't saved and then, you know, maybe like they, you know, I don't know. Maybe they have to spend like $15-$30 they wouldn't have had to spend to get Lucy, or maybe they end up spending $100. Like, I don't know, dog. I don't know. Because of like a limited time banner. I don't, you know. But I think that's a gotcha at the end of the day. Like, if it affects you so poorly, then like drop the game. That goes for like any game. Between their first anniversary and this first collab, Crow's celebrations always feel so corporate. The gameplay content stuff can be good, but anything tied to monetization, yeah. I've also felt from the first anniversary and the second anniversary and the collab that like celebration, it doesn't really feel like a celebration in the sense that it should or could, you know. Like, it doesn't have that, like, celebratory aspect that you'd hope those milestones have. There's always, yeah, I kind of get that. Hmm. Every tech test LARPer can shove rebuttals to their takes aside because the combat system they want never materialized. So in a sense, their takes cannot be attacked. Yeah. Kugia said he's very lazy without the stream. Lack of well-researched videos really hurt the game. Pure emotional pour out does more damage than good. I mean, kinda. When it's like super, you know, like there's a such thing as destructive criticism, right? Destructive criticism, where it's more about tearing the thing down than being constructive. And it's a lot easier to fall into like just saying like, you know, I wish you'd be more like this thing doesn't alleviate destructive criticism, right? Because like people would think that's constructive. Like, oh, like I gave them feedback. I said do more of this. Like that's again not within the realm of like critical analysis, like critique. But yeah, no, I mean I don't know. That's just what I mean when it's like you just see how it's like not really doing you any favors to like film that stuff live and then, you know, like I don't know. Like you'd expect there to be like, there could be like 5 to 10 minutes of just like silent thinking or like researching or like reading about some other, like, you know, looking stuff up. Like it's boring. Like it should be very like tedious and long and like kind of boring. Like, I don't know. And it becomes more about entertainment. You know what I mean? Cause like you got to keep the stream going. So. It was a celebration. Solon celebrated his 6th yacht. That was funny. I mean, you could say the same about any gacha dev company, but yeah. It's okay. Nature is healing, Volpez. Smugslav, Pixel Tree, and some other goats will help us through these hardships. There are some good ones out there for sure. I need to look into Smugslav. I need to look into him a bit. The Goblin Army and their adjacents are in every gacha discussion, whether it involves Endfield or not. They're dunking on it with subjective opinions or actual lies. Even if their numbers are insignificant on their own, the message that they spread influences potential players' opinions. Everyone keeps saying that this game I don't play is bad. Okay, I'll avoid it. Yeah. Bro saying they don't give a shit about optimizations was wild. Wait, who said that? Who said they don't care about optimizations? I need to do, what is this quest? Let's see. This one? Is this door open permanently now? Oh, wait. I see. Smug's more combat oriented. I don't think he has very strong opinions about the story. People's critiques are, quote unquote, make pity carryover, let us skip factory, where's endgame? I want more weapon pools. Is that how it is? I definitely do hear quite a lot of stuff like that. Dude, even the weapon pool thing is something we've talked about before. How, like, you know, we don't necessarily know, like, how the design philosophy of weapons was kind of like affected by the kind of like monetization of the weapon pools, because it's very clear that like you know, unlike a game like HSR where, you know, you might have like very crucial stats or like part of a character's kit kind of like cut out and put into a weapon. And WUA can also have like characters very dependent on their weapons as well sometimes. Like, you know, there's like an absence of that in Endfield so far. And where weapons, especially if you take into account battle pass weapons, are like, you know, weapons are just, you don't feel the need of a weapon as much. So, you know, how much of that design philosophy towards the weapons was affected by the fact there's no, you know, it's not like you don't use your character pools for the weapons, right? You use like a rebate currency for the weapons, like, you know, and not to mention that logically, I think it was Hippo that pointed this out, where like, you know, if you really wanted to spend your ore barrels on weapon pools, you essentially can literally do that by just going and pulling on a character banner to get the currency for weapon pools. Because that's effectively, it's the exact same way. Like if you go and use like Ashrites in Weathering Waves on a weapon banner, you're using that, you know, your aura barrels on the weapon banner. You're getting your weapon currency, and then you're going and you're spending that weapon currency on a weapon banner. It's just like the same thing with more steps. It's like distributive property or something. I don't know. It's like something like that. Oh, I see what the deal is here. Give me more ways to get arsenal, and then we're gonna like weapon system, but Enfield is probably the prettiest smelling shit of the bunch. Like, yeah, look, I'm with Solidarity. I'll stand with Solidarity on that too. Like, if they just to give more sources of arsenal tickets, like, yeah, Solidarity. More pulls is always good. More pulls is always good. I'm not gonna argue against that. Enfield's shortcoming is being too different and not being different enough at the same time. True. True. What the hell-y? Oh my gosh, dude, I was just... I don't, like... I was just thinking that if, if we end up doing like a 8-hour react to like the Kukikaze like 1.1, 1.2 review, I mean, we could legitimately turn it into like a 20-hour affair if we also want to go and look at the stream where he like literally filmed it all live, and we could literally like dissect the thought process that went into every single point, like with extreme precision. If we really wanted to, it could be like a 40-hour like project, but I don't think we're gonna do that. I don't think we're gonna do that. Yeah, you can. It's really not that complicated. You spend same currency to get weapon pools, but you get characters as well as a byproduct. Yeah. Yeah. And like, I get, like the only thing you could say to that is that like, well, you know, depending on the limited amount of character pools they give, you know, if you're burning those to get weapons, but honestly, the exact same thing is said for other gachas. Like, if you're burning it, like, you know, when you get a weapon in Wuthering Waves, for example, like there's no 50-50 on the weapon, but that like could have been a character, you know what I mean? At the end of the day, that could have been a character. So you're still using your pools that could be character pools. Also not needing dupes or signature weapons in a gacha game? Yeah, the like the lack of value of the dupes in Endfield, I mean, is very player friendly. Like, just being honest about it. Like, no glaze, okay, no glaze, but it's like it's pretty player friendly. The dupes in Endfield. I mean, dude, compare it to like HSR. You know, Wuthering Waves has that thing where they'll make like, you know, character kits dependent on their 5-star teammates, and then like, oh, pull like S3 to like remove the dependency. They're like, Wuthering Waves has that. Like, HSR has like extreme value in like E1 and like, you know, the E1, E2 copies. Like, it almost just feels like the character was like literally designed and then gutted. They're like E2, or like E2 was taken out of their kit, and you know what I'm saying? Like, HSR probably has like the worst culture of pulling duplicates out of anything that I've seen. I think you can still like clear endgame and stuff just by pulling base characters. Like, most of my characters are like E0, S0, like no signatures. I just get like full teams of teammates, but still, the accepted culture is kind of bizarre. $20 hours, 1 week stream, let's go. I mean, it'd be broken up into like stream segments, you know what I mean? Batch number HS09. Color clear, aroma fragrant, blank well balanced notes. Taste refreshing, long finish, classic and aromatic. Overall score 94. This match is of good overall quality, meeting premium standards, suitable for normal aging and storage. Recommended storage period, no less than blank months. Is this about alcohol? You see the weird like droplets that are falling right in front of the camera? It's like these ones right here. Do you see that? You could like see the shape of the droplet. That was crazy. Dude, the thing is, I don't think I'm gonna do something like that, because I would really just much rather make like my own analysis video where I like just share the ideas, you know, rather than like simply react bitterly to somebody else. But we probably will do a but we probably will do like a react stream. for the review, for the actual review itself. I can make that jump, right? Crazy. Did you find something? Oh my god. Gilberta killed me. Alright, it's over. Yeah, the lack of the infinite random artifact thing is also great. Is amazing. Like you can just have like a fully built character, like you don't, there's no like random RNG BS going on. Wait, I can't believe I never got this chest here. Bet it's in that box. Show them a truly comprehensive review of story lore they're too stupid to rage bait react to. Like when I do it for my like when I make videos about it, it'll probably be more like piecemeal rather than like a comprehensive like 1.2 critique, because like here's if I was gonna sit down and do a critique, right, like that's kind of why I said earlier that like streaming the process of it is not really doing you any favors, because I know that if I was gonna do a 1.2 critique, I would like literally pull up a playthrough of the game. I would like walk through the entire playthrough, which is like several hours long, and I would be like stopping and taking notes like every like, you know, 30 to 60 seconds, because I'd be like creating I'd be writing also like, because in the critique you'd want to like also summarize events for the audience, so you'd be like walking them through the events of the story in summary as you're like kind of critiquing or whatever. So you know, this would be like a 20-hour long project, probably like longer than that. And like, that's like, it's like a ton of work. But like, that's how I would go about doing a critique. Like, that's how I think that's like the bare minimum that would even be required. And that's not even taking into account if I want to like bring up analysis of other stories for as examples, you know, as supporting evidence for likes and dislikes. Then I'd have to go back and watch those stories, and I'd have to summarize those events in those stories, and then I'd have to do the actual analysis of breaking it down. I'd have to like analyze author intent. I'd have to do all this stuff. Like it's insane. Like that's what I mean when I say the bar like is really so high. And you know, you can go and watch a stream, and you didn't see any of that. So that's kind of what I mean. Like I'm not gonna really take any of his takes on 1.2 with any amount of like gravitas, you know. Thing is, I will end up doing that anyway for like the Tong Tong story anyway, so I will have to like go back and like watch 1.1. Are you reacting to Mithu's story quest video? Doesn't have any spoiler. I'll pull it up in a little bit. Rakugi's thoughts about 1.1 and 1.2 really that bad? I'm scared. We'll see in the final product. Like, I didn't even watch that full stream. I kind of skipped around, and pretty much every time I skipped around, there was like always something triggering me. Extreme disagreement is like not an understatement for sure. Sorry, I need to like not hit the mic. That's like really weird of me. To be like tapping on the mic arm.
In every place and situation. This is a rule that I never break.
I'd rather farm Enfield Essences Overday over ZZ Disc or NTE consoles. Yeah, for sure. For sure. Literally doesn't even hold a candle. I think his sentiment is like content cycle is kind of atrocious with the filler events, but quality of content given is going up. There was something I saw in his little document about how the quality of like filler events like food, like the food event and the like power washer and the other like little side events, like the little one where you're doing the little combat puzzles or whatever it is. He said that like those retroactively make the main story bad in his like little document. And I was like, good luck proving that one, Chief. Good luck proving that one. I actually would be very interested to see how that argument is proven. Oh no, my glorified login event has ruined the story enjoyment of the main story because filler story event. Oh no. Lopez is the Dan Carlin of video game streaming. Oh my god, is that good? Maybe a comprehensive talk of the game 6 months to a year in? Yeah, like a 6-month retrospective or a year. Yeah. Yeah, I'll do something like that. That sounds good. Hopefully. Hopefully. I would like to. I would like to. What's going on with this one? I mean, I could definitely suicide into the water to get this, but is there a way to like get up there? Oh, there is. Oh, it's this path over there. We'll do it the right way, as the devs intended. Glory to Hypergriff. The word count in this chat is rivaling the OG Arknight story. I'm lost in the backlogs. I'm very grateful to have like such a passionate, active chat. It makes the streaming thing like literally so easy. You guys have no idea. You guys have no idea.
A blade unsheathed, its light unleashed.
Engage.
Is the entrance to this back here, perchance? Perchance? I feel like it has to be. I mean, the alternative is like from this way, but that looks like a cliff. He does it during stream because he can't make VOD without the stream, or the video without the stream because he's lazy. You said that's what he said, right?
Smells like danger. Should we engage? A blade unsheathed, its light unleashed. And I was hoping you'd say that. Take this! Another dance! We're like winning! Cleave now and flat! Cozy up with gravity!
We still haven't moved past treating these glorified login events as things that take away from actual content. Yeah, dude,
This is what happens when
I've heard many people like gamer rage about this, and I really want to find, there has to be like a coherent argument out there about like why these are bad. I mean, dude, glorified login event. Like that's literally all it is. And like it gives you a little like flavor. I mean, like pun not intended, like flavor, you know, about like a little bit of lore, because they talk about like, you know, don't they talk about like the food of Talos 2 or something like that? And for people that just like want to like read a little something extra, like there you go. Read that, you know? If you don't want to read that, click that nice shiny skip button in the corner. You know, go walk 10 steps to the left, buy the food with stock bills, turn it in. You know, if anything, I mean, you know, there's more steps than a login event, because like, you know, if you want to buy the food, you need the stock bills and stuff. But like, hey, that gives more importance to the factory that people love to talk about. It gives even more importance to doing your factory and getting at least a few stock bills. Or you know what you can do? You can do this, you can press Y, you can go to this, you can go to environment monitoring, and you can do one of these for like 400,000 stock bills. And you have enough, in 5 seconds, you have enough stock bills to get all of your logins. There you go. Easy. And that ruins the game? Question mark?
Hey, we'll end this fight easily. Leave it to me.
Dan Carlin is awesome. It is really long, extremely well-researched history podcast. Oh wait, maybe I was thinking of someone else.
Can we do it again? Take this.
That's cool. That's cool.
Take this.
Our battle plan proved its worth.
That's what I'm saying as well, but I also think it's important to look at how important the gacha is for your enjoyment of the game, and Endfield is pretty detached in that sense. The thing, I kind of understand where people come from with that, with the idea of like, can you enjoy this game without the gacha? For me personally, because like, the thing is, I hear that for like a lot of games, like you hear that for Genshin, you hear that for Wuthering Waves a lot, especially. And you're here for Endfield too, because of like the whole gameplay with the factory and all that stuff. And like, I think there's some merit to that metric, or to like considering that. But I also think the nuance there is like, it's important to kind of remember that like, I don't know, a lot of enjoyment comes from getting new characters, right? Like a lot of enjoyment comes from the fact that new characters are effectively like new gameplay, because, you know, the new kits is like new gameplay, and getting new gameplay is like really great. So for me, it's like, I feel like it's hard to judge solely on that, but I kind of get it. I kind of get the idea behind that. Using the biggest net means catching some dumb fish. Okay. Oh no, a cooking event? I have to press 3 buttons today instead of my usual 2. I was honestly so excited when I made the Rhodes Island food. That was such a neat surprise. Wait, okay, what was... I didn't even catch that. What was the Easter egg with that? The Rhodes Island food? Was it something from Arknights, or was it just something that in Enfield is connected to Rhodes Island? Of course, world building in OG Arknights was good, but world building in Endfield is bad. True, true. Oh, that's it? I think we're almost done with this 1.0 area. Isn't that great? Well, there's like 30 chests left. We're getting there. Dude, they're like literally all around me. What the hell? What the hell-y? How did I miss these? No shot. I've been running past here every day and there's a chest here. Where? Oh my god. Wait, a waterfall chest? Legendary? There's always something under or behind a waterfall. Literally always, all the time. It's like a rule of game development. Is there one over here? No? Terrible game, terrible devs. There's a Reddit event about how the food event makes Endfield the most time-wasty game on the market. Like, we just cannot be serious, right? Like, we just cannot be serious. I guarantee you this person, like, probably goes to Wuthering Waves and plays fucking pinball and then comes back and is like, oh yeah, like, that was... Like, nothing against pinball. Like, I don't, you know... someone's gonna get angry that I said something that could, like, you know, possibly be misconstrued as, like, something negative about Wuthering Waves. You know, nothing against it if you like pinball, but, like, come on, bro.
Strategic reserves like these can shift the tide of battle.
Well, yeah, you could buy literally every item. Yeah. Like, dude, honestly, I mean, like, this is another reason why this harping on, like, the food event and the power wash event just, like, grinds my gears, is because, like, if you look at what the alternative is, which is the way that, you know, Wuthering Waves and Genshin and HSR and, like, Zenless Zone Zero do events, where it's just, like, straight minigame slop, and again, sometimes slop is good, sometimes slop is fun, sometimes we enjoy our slop. Slop is not inherently a negative. Maybe I shouldn't even call it minigame slop. It's just minigame. It's minigame centric, like, events and patches, right? Like, that's the content of the patch is, like, minigames are a solid chunk, like, pillar of the content provided by the game. And Endfield has not done these, like, this, like, pillar of minigame, like, stuff, right? Not in the same way that you see other games do it. So, like, because, like, power wash and food delivery, or not even food delivery, like, you know, clicking on a menu to buy a piece of food and then clicking on another menu to submit it is not in the same vein as, like, pinball or, you know, knockoff, you know, what's it called? Plants vs. Zombies, or, like, knockoff Vampire Survivors, or, like, whatever, you know, like, there's millions of knockoff minigames, like, oh my god, I'm gonna lose it, bro. I'm just gonna lose it, bro. Like, why? It's so obvious. So obvious. Gonna fucking commit, bro. I'll get rid of these for now.
I think the Endman's catching some rest. Long distance hauls can get really tiring.
Oh, the last dish you make in that event is Rhodes Island rations. Oh, okay.
Time to unwind.
Oh. Is that something you can buy from here? Is that this thing? No, right? Does the food have lore attached to them? Yeah, they have a little bit. Hold on, we're gonna go read the Rhodes Island rations in a sec. After I get this chest. Bro, what's going on here? Invisible wall? Sorry? Oh, is it the slug? Is it the little thing? Is it this thing? Maybe for a quest? Oh, interact. How the hell are you supposed to, like, if you didn't do that Valley 4 quest, how the hell are you supposed to recognize that? Minus 1 point to every game that doesn't have something behind a waterfall. Dude, like the mini game thing to me is like, I'm sorry, I'm still not over this. Like the harping on the food event to me, like to me it just reeks of like complaining for the sake of complaining. Like, because I think that, again, I'm gonna try and be charitable. I think maybe I'm gonna listen to what Kukikaze has to say about it, right? But like, my understanding right now is the most charitable like steelman of this position is that it like takes developer time away from like developing actual content, and the other like steelman is that it's used to like manipulate the player into thinking that they're getting more content and events than there actually are in the game. And there could be some truth to that. Like they fill out the patch notes with like, you know, so they can like make it look like there's more going on. There could be some truth to that. But like, realistically, is it like the reason that like, you know, you don't have contingency contract or something? Like, I don't know. I don't know if I can say that like food delivery is the reason there's no like infinitely replayable game mode in the game. But you know what? I don't know everything. I'm gonna look and see what people have to say about that and see why they're hated so much. Because I don't know everything. What do I know? Wait, hold on. Rhodes Island rations. Aren't they... It was like... On this... There's like a shop on this avenue? Speaking of surveys, some people actually got mad for the survey listening to things people complained about. Like, do you want them to listen or not? Next Volt video, the lore behind cooking event? Dude, that's like a solid April Fool's idea, actually. That's like a solid April Fool's idea. Like, I really... that's the thing, is like... I gotta stay humble a little bit. Like, I gotta be fair to... Can I read it from here? The description? Is it this one, right? Oh, Legacy and Memories. Rhodes Island Special Ration. A mixed ration of Rhodes Island during the Age of Terra. The one who prepared it is absolutely certain of its authenticity. The production line was salvaged from the ruins of the Agaloy War, and the replacement ingredients were foraged from various parts of Talos 2. Our memories have never been broken. Did that bring a tear to the Arknights players, to the eye of the Arknights players? That's for you guys. That one's for you guys. I'm not gonna lie, that line, our memories have never been broken, actually kind of... is actually kind of deep. Like... actually kind of deep. I could make an April Fool's video about that. I can make a video about that. Potentially. Wait, what's the puzzle here? Is there something going on with these pillars? Maybe quest related? Or is it these animals? Do they do something? Oh, they probably lead you to the thing, right? Hold on. You got me? He despawned. But there's more pillars here. Someone thinks that food dailies take the exact same time as CC to make by the devs, and therefore it steals time from devs. I don't know what to say to those people. These people never worked in general. I think the most Steelman that I understand is that the devs do it in order to, you know, basically manipulate and pretend there's more content than there actually is, which allows them to like basically cut costs and cut corners on development so they don't have to actually make real game modes. That might be the most charitable Steelman of that position that I can think of. Just thought it was a neat little detail. Yes, a tear ran down my leg. Okay, yeah, that's great. That's great. Brother in Christ, how can a line hit harder for me when I don't even play Arknights?
Catching some rest. Long distance.
Well, like there's something to be said about the
Let's keep it down.
idea of like keeping your connection to like the roots, you know what I'm saying? Like not forgetting where you came from when it comes to like Terra, you know what I'm saying? Like because like after they were separated and they went through all those like wars and stuff, they very easily could have just like completely, like think about when like the Roman Empire fell, right? Like when Rome fell, there was like this dark ages where humanity like regressed in many ways. Like technologies were literally lost and had to be later like reinvented, you know what I mean? Like that's but like the idea that like you maintained your connection to Terra, you know what I mean? Dude, being a history nerd like really helps a lot with these sorts of like analyzing these sorts of like a lot. God, I'm so like I knew like watching all those history nerd videos was gonna come in handy. I knew it. Dude, is there a quest associated with these? Because these chests are tilting me. I have to call these 7-year players a bunch of LARPers. Calling it right now, if Endfield makes a good, is it reclamation algorithm alternative? It'll be the best game mode in any 3D gacha, not even close. I think they can do it, bro. In Hypergriff, we trust, okay? In Hypergriff, we trust. I think they can do it. Dude, it's why, even though, you know, like, you know, I say we're like I say, you know, hyperglazers or whatever, or we're glazing Hypergriff, like, Hypergrifters, like, at the end of the day, you still got to give your feedbacks and criticisms or whatever, you know? You still give your feedback on the game and, like, the kind of stuff you want to see. And if you're, like, disappointed, then you let your disappointment be known to the company. That is generally like not what you see. What you see is like a little bit of that, and then it's like taken to like an extreme where it's like, now I gotta view farm and rage bait. Like I gotta rage bait and I gotta view farm all the people that agree with me, view farm all the people that I'm rage baiting, you know? Like that's kind of what you see. Gotta check out Dan Carlin if you like history. Okay, actually, I will. I'll do that. I'll take you up on that.
You can't escape gravity.
Pog, please crush their spines. Wait, that was some insane grouping action. They're literally occupying the same pixels. Their PNGs are like overlapping. Oh my god, you fucked that one slug. Yeah, good job. Good job, Rossi. What is RA? Reclamation algorithm? I did look up the Arcanite's game modes. I forgot exactly which one that one is. That's the one where like isn't there like territories and you have to kind of like expand your territory by completing stages or something? Something like that? No quest? Skill issue? Get tilted? How is that a skill issue? There was a... They probably introduced that puzzle mechanic in like the forest down here or something and I just don't remember what it is. Do I need to spray it with Shironite?
A blade unsheathed, it's light unleashed.
It's light unleashed.
Wouldn't wanna miss out on this hunt.
Runs past you. Jukes you out, breaks your ankles. See ya, bitch. Is he gonna lead me to the thing? Okay, he despawned.
What's that?
Cleave now and cut.
Pug's ultimate is probably the hardest to not get burnout from. Bro, it literally infinite amounts of aura at all times. Like, absolute aura farming. I mean, like the fact that he brings in like his soldiers. God, it's so cool. Especially the last one where they like all jump in the air and like body slam from the fucking top ropes. RKO. Bro, there's literally nothing. I can't even interact with these pillars. What is that? Oh my gosh, wait. There's a hole in the hyperglyph? Hyperglyph? Worst dev company I've ever seen? Hello? My immersion is broken? You need to mash up Edge Space and Delver of the Cryptid, randomized roguelike style. Yeah, that's honestly that's a great idea. That's like the. Oh wait a sec. Wait a second. Everybody pause. That's like the beginning of how you would kind of start to revitalize those modes, for sure. I think, I don't know, I wouldn't be mad with Edge Space if they wanted to... Okay, there we go. Like, doesn't it normally... I thought with the flies, it would take you to where the flies are rather than the end point, but that's fine. That's fine. Okay, there has to be more flies around here. Just kidding, there's a chest right there. Solved. Solved. Mystery solved.
We'll end this fight easily. Leave it to me.
Get uppercutted. Dead. Loser. The shield guard and Enfield are awesome. Yeah. Dude, what's our, how many, we've just been exploring this whole time. Has this number gone up in a meaningful way? 104,000. Hey Felix, how's saving for Mifu? Oh, I guess I just showed it, huh? Yeah, this is how it's going. Pretty good. I'm under no illusion that I have been abnormally lucky with Endfield. Maybe, guys, maybe all that glazing, maybe it pays off. Like, you never know. You never know. Maybe, what do we call this? What do we call the game director? Light Zhong? Doesn't he have different names, but he goes by for different games? Anyway. Maybe Light Zhong is like sitting in the, maybe he's sitting in the, chat. AFK, like just lurking. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, it's just counterclockwise, starting from there. So, wait, I remember these pools. These pools tilted me before. I will conquer it this time. People don't know that RA1 was secretly the the technical test for Enfield. True hypergriff lore. I'm absolutely gonna get shanked for this, but the easiest way RA can be described is Clash of Clans, but survival. Oh, like base attacking? Kinda? Like attacking bases for resources or something? Okay. The thing is, they just need to, they just need to translate it to, like, you know, 3D action. If the progression is satisfying, you know, like, I think like progression systems in a way could translate well, even from like a tower defense game to a 3D game. If the idea is that you're like progressing by accumulating resources, by like clearing stages to like expand territory on a map or something, like that's like an overall progression system. But please don't die. Okay, it's over for me. Just put me out of my misery. Okay. So the idea, I don't need this one anymore. I need to hit that button. Which I can now do. I think just classic roguelike is awful fit for action games with dodge, but IS-7 you're being hunted by the boss with a timer. While X being in gearing in roguelike style would go hard. Yeah, I think I get what you're saying. Oh, I meant resources, not pulls. Oh, in terms of resources, I'm set.
Awesome, right?
In terms of like XP materials and stuff, I'm set. Yeah, I get what you mean. It's dude, it's the reason why, you know, roguelike modes in the other games have not been the most loved. Oh, I can hit that, right? Oh, nice. I'm dead though, aren't I? Okay, again, that can't be the way the developers intended that to go, but yeah, like I'm supposed to like put it back over here. See, that's the thing about limited movement systems and like when it comes to solving puzzles and stuff is that it's even more satisfying when you figure out a way to do it that like the devs maybe didn't intend. Like doing some weird parkour along like some, you know, like a weird path like I did earlier. Even though there was like a clear like designed way with like the trucks and like lifting the cargo things, but if you like have an eye for it, it's like, oh, I could probably jump over there and I could jump to that and then I could do that, you know? God Hand, Light Zhong, High Mao, Low Light. So it's all the same person? Excited to see Seshwa, bro. Take me to the Flying City of Witches. Dude, as part of my whole like lore thing for Enfield, I've been reading the Nexus files. Where are they? I've been reading through like this stuff, and I think I'm missing one. I've been reading on the wiki, but like, yeah, there's this one about Szechuan, is that what they call it? Where is it? Thanks for not putting them in order, Hypergriff, in alphabetical order. That's great. Where is it? Is this the one that I don't have? I know there's 50. Okay, there it is. Like, so So like even dude, even this is such an interesting read because like what I know a little bit about the Sarkaz now from reading Arknights. I know they're gonna go more into it, but I know the Sarkaz like have their very storied past. And like just the idea that you're kind of reading about like how they've kind of integrated into society, and it's like all kind of like everyone's like accepted, and like even this line, war is no longer the constant companion of the Sarkaz. They have finally tilled the soil for a new life. Like that's nice, you know, that's really nice. That's what I mean by the difference between like, you know, hope in Game of Thrones versus hope in Lord of the Rings, you know? And yeah, like they describe the floating city in here, which is like really, I can't wait to go here as well. It's gonna be really cool. It's gonna be really, really cool. Seska, it's pronounced? Okay, I mean, you just type the word and then you said it's pronounced. Like, I don't, what am I supposed to do with that? Seshka? Seshka? I think Enfield's core gameplay is fitting for an IS mode, like the way people imagine. Yeah. Yeah. Channel your BG3 love and drain all those pulls with the pump. Dude, oh, I should have done that. Dang, that would have been sick. I can't believe I didn't think of that. You absolutely could have done that. You could have just set down a fluid tank and just drained them all. Just ignored the puzzle. I can't believe I didn't think of that. Need game modes without pull currency? File reading stream when? Well, here's one file. Here's one file. Oh yeah, I think one thing that I was gonna say about this, when I read this, I knew this, like, there's a lot of Arknights, OG Arknights players that are tilted because the idea that like problems that existed in Arknights have like been solved in Arknights Endfield is like very tilting for some reason to Arknights players, even though like there's like several reasons that you could even explain why this is, right? Like one reason why they do this is because, you know, I think it should be nice. Well, let me explain that better. So one reason why I think they do this is because in gacha stories, the story like needs to continue in perpetuity. So like in Arknights, for example, you know, I feel like certain things you wouldn't necessarily solve them, even though the story's been running for 7 years. I mean, someone correct me. Have they like solved Aripathy? Have they solved the like Sarkaz discrimination and stigmatism in Arknights after all this time? Because I feel like these are things that are going to be like, you know, they're like central parts of the story. And I mean, even realistically, things like that would take like a long time to like gradually overcome. And like, there's some wholesomeness to the fact that like, you know, all of the efforts of your heroes in Arknights like bore some fruit, like even if it was far into the future for like these people, right? And I mean, a big reason for like why this is probably has a lot to do with like the fact that they all came from Terra and then settled Talos 2 and were kind of like separated societies, and then the Cosmic Gate closed, which like totally separated them, and then probably just blew out your eardrums. I like yelled on that one, but like that totally separated them from Terra. And then all of the like the hardships, like the existential threats with like the Agloy War that united everybody in like, you know, common cause of like building civilization and survival, like that contributed arguably to a lot of this. But there's like realistic reasons for like why they would be this way, you know. And to me, it's like just interesting. Like it adds to world building. It makes you think about the world. It makes you think about like how past events have like had impact on like the way society was shaped, you know. So I don't understand the art, like the, you know, Arknights elitist perspective of like, you know, it's cheap that like they've figured out Aripathy, or it's cheap that they've like kind of, you know, put to rest a lot of the racial divides and discrimination and stuff, when, you know, like that's like the story of Arknights, and like the story of Endfield is about something else, you know. It's about something else. And that's, to me, I think, intentional. They haven't solved any of those, but in Endfield, it gives you the eventuality that they did. No, LOL, we actively made it worse. Oh, I see. Okay. Yeah, that's tough. Fun fact, there's actually a bunch of old Sarkaz fogies who hate the pseudo whitewashing Seshka is doing to the Sarkaz image. They don't like how Seshka essentially tried to make a home for the Sarkaz, but purposefully ignoring the history of the race. I mean, the thing is, like, it's with a noble pursuit of, like, I mean, hey, that probably even ties into, like, the lesson from Ron Yi, right? Where it's like, if you can't ever move past, like, if you can't, like, you know, if you can't take those steps into the future from all of those past grievances, you're just going to be forever embroiled in these cycles of, like, war and conflict. And, like, then the bitter old people start a war, and then the, you know, young, you know, pure-hearted young people are sent to go fight the old people's wars, and they fight and die for shit they don't know or care about. And then they become bitter, and then they perpetuate it to the next generation. And, like, you know, so when does it end? It ends when, like, when one, you know, generation is willing to, like, that's why they call it generational trauma. Like, when one generation is willing to maybe move past those things or move into the future without, you know what I mean? You know what I'm saying? Like, realistically, what happens if Ron Yi is successful and he goes and kills a bunch of people in Wuling to, over, like, his hatred because, like, his father was killed, right? Like, then a bunch of the people in Wuling hate the Stockaders and then want to go kill them. And then because they're objectively more powerful, then they'll go and actually kill them. And then those Stockaders that were, like, starting to get over it and get over the past and accept it and move on are now going to hate the Wulingers and want to go kill them back. So, like, you know, that's what I mean when I say, like, Enfield's like a story of hope in a way. Like, it's about embracing hope and, like, the future and stuff like that. Ask Last Right for the correct pronunciation. I could have sworn, because I had Last Right in my party for a long time. I could have sworn she said, like, Szechuan. Like Szechuan. like the province in China. She does it after a fight. Hold on. Hold on, she's gonna say it. Hold on, she's gonna do it right after this.
Now that's what I like to hear. And
It's probably in her profile somewhere. Sarkaz. It's gotta be in here somewhere, right?
I really wish I could use my blade. Many races do mention some kind of spirit. Why does everyone play tricks on me?
Oh my gosh. I can't believe I haven't listened to these before.
They called me nom nom. I took the operator's stand.
I need to make a Sarkaz Last Right video probably. Oh, here we go.
Power has to tweak my combat outfit from time to time. So I often make trips.
Wait, Floating City mentioned?
City. When Seshka gets far enough from other cities, they retract the touring facilities, and the place goes.
Okay, it's Seshka. Seshka.
Hi, Endman. Oh, the weather is so lovely today.
Seshka. She said it like Seshka. Seshka. She said it with like an accent, Seshka. It was supposed to be solved. With the right amount of mental gymnastics, everything can be seen as bad.
I won't fly too far.
True, true. So true. Technically, we removed one of the main obstacles causing Sarkaz's problems. Reminder, his father died while attacking Wu Ling, not being attacked. Yeah, like for like, they were like resources or something, right? Weren't they like starving or something? So they kind of attacked a convoy for resources. Was that what it was? That meme sauce from years ago? No, it's a province in China, guys.
Oh dear. I'm so screwed. I can't
You mean the
find
McDonald's
old
meme
leader.
sauce?
Where did he go? Oh, Mr. Mo. I need to find you fast.
voice line Gamba? She's so cute. Last rights. I need to listen to her voice lines for some like
What
sarcasm
happened?
lore and stuff.
Oh,
Hold on, let me write that down. That's got to be another video topic. Is like, I don't even know if I can make a full one out of this, but like, how Enfield solves the problems of Arc Knights. Problems in terms of like eripathy and racial divide / discrimination, like with the sarcasm.
you must be the guest of Tian Shizhuang.
10 out of 10 would let her eat me.
The defense.
Well, everyone in the city.
You know,
thought
I'm gonna go on a limb and say that actually you
What's going
wouldn't do
on?
that. I'm gonna take a stab, and I'm gonna say that actually you would not want Last Right to literally eat you.
I really need your help to find my mentor.
Just a shot in the dark.
Your mentor? Your...
My name's Indong, and I started my studies at Wuling last year. My mentor, Tian Shemo.
My
is a
human-eating
lecturer at
creature
the
can't be this
Tianshi
cute.
Academy. But he's been
Doesn't she not specifically not do that anymore? Don't the sarcasm specifically don't do that? Tianshi Mo?
When the Blight Tide came, I went looking for him to get him to shelter. He's got bad legs, you see. But
The Iron Mouse of Enfield. Okay.
Physician Tsoi of
The
medical
Iron Mouse of
clinic
Enfield,
told me
huh?
he had run off. I searched the entire city, nothing. Physician Tsoi thinks that the old dolt is just throwing a tantrum. He did plenty of that, but always returned after a couple of days.
Thought they were just pirating for loot with how I read it. Why attack random lab for food? Just go for the granary? I could have sworn there was, I could have sworn they were in like extremely dire straits or something. Someone correct me if I'm wrong. Because that was like the reason why they were driven to like attack the convoy or something anyway, right? Or did they attack like a lab? One way to read on sarcasm discrimination stuff is Zaihi. Oh, is Zaihi also sarcasm?
It's really different this time. People told me he charged straight for the Blight Tide.
Is he crazy? We're talking about a blight tide.
Well,
Oh, really,
Samoa
Chen?
has always been
Oh, really?
rather interesting. People told me that the medical clinic was being extra forgiving because he worked really hard for decades.
Rich. Mainly not checkers? Is that how you pronounce that? Like check? Not checkers? Not checkers? I have no idea how to pronounce that. It's mainly them, but like her that do it, but she forgoes it because of her upbringing. Are there any like cannibalistic sarcasms still on Talos 2, or is that like also
But
been kind of solved?
I don't care what they say about Mr. Moore. I'm clumsy too, but he took the time and taught me how things work. I'm just worried he really went off into the black tide.
Read the story on, not gonna try to pronounce that. I mean, I will. Convenriger. The weapon, it's a little tidbit showing that racism is very much still there. Okay.
Take a deep breath, young man. Have you found any
Perlica
other
calling
clues?
someone young man.
Back then, I was...
Psst, Edmund.
What is it, Chen?
Remember the blight tide? We all saw it. Heading outside the city feels like a
Oblivion's a good read too.
But respecting one's mentor is a really big thing in Hongshan. I don't know. The lad looks really desperate.
The lad.
Really? That's awesome!
So the last witness saw him running off to the maintenance zone outside the city. The area may be dangerous. We'll handle it.
All right, young man. Stay in the city.
Young
and keep
man.
searching. We'll look outside the city for you.
You really
Isn't
helped
Chen
me?
like 20?
Oh, I don't know how to thank you all.
But light tides and Angloy are really dangerous.
Like, I'm older than that. I don't know if I could unironically call someone a young man or young lady or something like that.
I'm not asking much, but I'm his only disciple. It's the very least I could do for him. And myself.
I like this quest, like this, just like connection between like master and disciple, you know? Like deference kind of to your mentor in a way,
We should look
or
around
respect for your mentor. They were robbing supply convos, but Wuling has shortage of food also, so things got bad and something exploded, which really caused the whole mess. Oh, okay. Okay.
Clues might be hidden beneath the blight tide. Let's run a scan, Endman.
Let's read the it's from this that you can read the things, right? Which one is Covenger? Rieger. If I don't have it, we can't read it, right? I mean, the wiki exists, but isn't it a polearm? I feel like I've seen it before. This one? No. Last right signature? Oh, there we go. That makes sense. That makes sense. Dude, it's so insane. They have all this lore tied to the weapon. All right, we'll read this. All right. The Nox checker. Someone even know how to pronounce that? Knock? Like CH in Christ. Knock? Gerer? Knock Gerer? Bro, just ignoring the R. Okay, I'm sorry to the R. My apologies to the R. Formal apology. Noxera sounds good. Noxera sounds good. Okay. The Noxera crumpled to the ground, his greatsword laid before him. He roamed the wildlands for days. He thought about those who fell by his sword and the pair of despair-filled eyes that stared at his horns. The sarcasm was already used to the gaze of hate, the bitter spite against the entity that inevitably ended their lives. The Noxera needed only to devour the haters to soothe his pain. Sorry, I shouldn't laugh. It's serious. Devouring the haters, huh? His legs were swollen and felt so hot that he thought they were melting off. Without knowing it, his spine curled together due to the pain of hunger and unending rot. When he took the sword of frost from his fathers, he swore to treat it as dearly as his own life. But now his only wish was to find an uninhabited place and trade his old friend for some clean water and food. However, the abandoned village had none of those. The Noxera was about to leave when he heard crude, mocking ridicule. Noxera? 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 Oi, Sarkaz, that sword for sale? Who are you, mercs or bandits? Her? Does it matter? If you're good enough, we'll buy you 2 devil horns. Okay. The exhausted Noxera did not refuse. He gently clenched his hands into fists and checked his arms for their remaining strength. What do you mean by good enough? See that boulder in there? Cut it over there, cut it in half. Sure, watch. The boulder was large enough that it might take 2 of him, with arms open wide to fully embrace it. It seemed to have spent a few years in this village as it was covered with children's drawings and a few words that were no longer legible. The Noxera studied it for a bit and measured his approach. The Noxera stood straight and raised the sword up high with the entirety of his strength. When the dust settled, he was surprised to find a cave right under the boulder. Pairs of eyes looked back at him from the cave. They flickered with unease and fear. They were far weaker and filled with even more despair than he was. The mob behind the Noxera laughed loudly and approached. Ha, that's more than good enough. You're ours, devil horns. Got a price? Spit it out. I'm a merc, not a butcher. After the momentary silence, the mocking ridicule erupted once more. Not a butcher? Ha! This one calls himself a non-butcher. You Sarkaz might have made your fortune, but you're still in the business of killing. Spare us the sermon, devil freak. The mob was right. Mercenary work was never clean. He had killed before, and he had no excuses for what he did. Devouring the haters to own the haters. But the eyes that gazed out from the cave stared hard at his horns. They were so quiet that it began to hurt. When he walked through the cosmic gate, oh dang, when he walked through the cosmic gate over a decade ago, he thought he no longer had to see those eyes again. Oh dang, wait, that's kind of interesting. Wait a sec. This sword isn't for sale. The Noxera took one deep breath and raised his great weapon into the air. This Sarkaz isn't for sale either. The exhausted and famished frame of the Noxera continued to trudge into the distance. Telos too was not yet at a state where a Sarkaz must sell his weapon. Wow, okay. Okay, so like the story is pretty good, huh? So like, okay, so they do have really good writers on this. They do have really good writers on this. No lore, they said? I mean, to be fair, you don't only want the lore to exist in like entries like this, but I mean, hey, I mean, it's quite good here. It's quite good right here. But yeah, to say there's like no lore in the game at all is devouring the haters, huh? I guess I need to become a hater for my last right. It is what it is. Noxeras are essentially ghouls. They have to cannibalize in order to stave off their own rot. Oh. Is it almost like a curse or something? Like they're cursed? And so like this Noxera here is someone who is intentionally not intentionally like putting up with the rot in order to not like cannibalize people. They have trouble with the 3D medium. Took some German in high school and I'm not really sure how to type out how they roll the K sound through the Z. You get it, you got it close enough. Noxer. Noxer. I'm P5ing and perfect essencing all my 4-star weapons. Didn't know they glow too. Oh yeah, this glow right here. Yeah. I don't think it's from the P5ing. Maybe is there an additional glow for P5ing? This I think is for the essence. I think if you level up the essence enough. Can't read equals no lore. Oh, this is also about the Sarkaz? Okay, maybe we'll get into that next time. Glows from perfect essence? Okay. I mean, this is mine. This isn't enough, is it? Or is it, oh, it's just for 3 for 3. Oh, that's like a really low bar then. Only if it's like 3 for 3, right? Check the P5 glow in the archives. I mean the database, maybe? Oh. Oh. Okay. Okay. Something for the whales? It's acceptable. It's fine. I'm never gonna P5 a signature weapon probably, but something for the whales. Oh, I see. Alright. Alright. Oh, this has like colors and this. Alright. Cannibal too. Rotten cannibalism is like their racial traits. That's how they try to suppress with Last Right? Okay. It's also implied they probably don't have to actually eat the bodies, just the act of fighting might sustain them, but it's hard to say. Okay. Okay. Alright. Guys, with that, I kind of have to get going. I have like some stuff I have to take care of, but I really appreciate everybody who like lurked and chatted and hung out in the stream and came to chat and hang out. Really appreciate it. Have fun with Arknights 1.3. I probably won't be streaming the night that it launches, but I'm going to stream the next day at like normal stream time during the day. So we're going to do that. We're going to pull Mifu. It's going to be really fun. Good luck on your Mifu pulls. Thanks again for watching my stream, tuning into the broadcast. Really appreciate everybody. It was fun. Really fun stream today. And I'm going to see you guys next time in the next one. All right. Take care, everybody. Bye-bye. Stay safe out there. See you next time. Bye-bye.